What's up this afternoon, everyone? Welcome. Fine Tuesday to you all. Good to see you. What is up, Cat Cam fan and well-spoken jellyfish? Welcome to the stream. Zelda Zakba and also Outrageous Tyrannosaurus Roarix Venture. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup chair for you. Thank you. Sorry, I'm waking everyone up. It's early. It's still early. It's a Tuesday afternoon. Hopefully everyone had a spectacular weekend. Did I watch the Planeswalker deck reveal? Not really. Hey, thanks, Jesse. Have a wonderful day. Did you watch it? So, okay, confirm to me if these rumors are true. So I didn't watch it. I was working on these decks actually, and then in the Goldfish group chat, Tomer was watching, and he said a couple things, and I want to see if anyone watched it, if this is actually true. So first, did they say that the commander decks were not a premium product? That was a big thing that I've been hearing people say. Like, it sounds like people were upset about the commander precon prices, and and their response was that they weren't a premium product, which, I mean, I guess I don't know exactly what that means. I think that premium product probably means expensive. That's how it works in my brain, but apparently that's not exactly what it means. Who knows? Krusty back. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoop cheer for you. Thank you. There was also, so that was one of the things I heard about it. I mean, the decks, boy. I don't know how to feel about these decks. I'm very curious how y'all feel about these decks. So we've seen 2 of the 4 precons. First was Slivers, and it's got a lot of slivers, and it's got some kind of cool new cards. I really like the new Titan, like Titan of Lajara. Seems like a card I would play in almost any tribal deck. Like 6 mana 6/6, ETB, you draw a card for the chosen type of creature when it ETBs. It is that type. So worst case, you loot when it ETBs, and then when it attacks, you do the same thing. Seems like a ridiculous source of card advantage. The sliver deck, like, it looks solid. It's got a bunch of slivers, and then they just revealed the Planeswalker deck. The Planeswalker deck, it's got a lot of Planeswalkers. Chainveil, actually a pretty legit reprint. They added a Mystic Gate, so there is one, like, somewhat expensive land in there. Chandra Awakened Inferno is an expensive Planeswalker, so there are some decent reprints in the set. I think the big criticism that people have said is essentially, like, the mana base of the 5-color deck is not very good, and I think that's, like, it's very budget. Like, the lands in the deck are not the high-tier lands by any stretch. It does have a lot of tri-lands, so hopefully it'll make your mana, like, somewhat functional, even if it's super tapped. People were pretty upset about the mana base, about that one. I think the biggest takeaway for me is, like, I don't think the decks are bad. I think the decks are good, but they're selling them for like twice as much money, and I don't know if they're twice as much as normal precon good, if that makes any sense. If that makes sense, like, are they better than a typical precon? Yes. Are they double as good as a typical precon? Probably not. It's like a really solid precon with a couple of reprints you wouldn't get in a normal precon, but I think they could have went further. I think part of my feelings on it are, in a weird way, Universes Beyond, I think, is like making things harder on Wizards, because it sets the bar so incredibly high. Like, the Lord of the Rings precons were so good. The Warhammer precons were so good. So I guess for some reason, when I saw the expensive price tag on the Commander Masters precons, my expectation was, oh, these are going to be like that level. They're going to be Universes Beyond precon level of good. They're putting new cards in them. These are going to be amazing. These are going to be like the Magic versions of the Lord of the Rings precon, or the Magic versions of the Warhammer precons. And they didn't end up really being that. There's like 10 new cards. The new cards are definitely have some cool ones. I like many of the new cards in the set, but it isn't Warhammer. Yeah, not on that level. So I think part of it is Wizards is maybe accidentally set expectations really, really high because of how good the Universes Beyond precons are. And then when you print just like a slightly better than a normal precon and sell it for double the price, people end up being really disappointed. I will say, not including Sliver Hive that's a big miss. Sliver Hive, oh, Watsy, I know. You got like financial constraints, reprint equity. There's these considerations they have, but really, how expensive was this land? Before yesterday, it was like $12. There's no way that adding one $12 land. I mean, they have a Mystic Gate in They have a Mystic Gate. It's an $11 land. It's the same price in the Commander, in the Planeswalker precon. There's no way that adding a Sliver Hive would have broken the bank. Now Sliver Hive got bought out, and it's like $50 at the moment. I'm sure it'll hopefully come down from there. But I think that was a pretty big miss. I think if they included Sliver Hive, that would have taken away a lot of the complaints about the decks, or like some percentage of them. But anyway, we can talk about Commander stuff as we go along. Today, we are messing around with new historic anthology stuff. So what's on the docket for today? We're actually gonna put Sliver Hive, perfect place for it. Yeah, and it wasn't that expensive. Like it seemed like a reasonable reprint level. I don't think it's like if it was $100 card, I get it. I don't know. I don't like it. I wish they would put $100 cards in precons, but I understand. Like if you put a $100 card in a $50 precon or $80 precon, there's undesirable unintended consequences where it gets bought out and like there's all this kind of stuff that goes on. I know that's like WotC justification. They could still do it and just print enough of it to make it work, but I understand why they don't actually do it. On the other hand, like I think they could go a little further than they do now. But anyway, what's on the docket for today? Yeah, the Planeswalker deck actually has some good reprints. Like, and that's the thing. Compared to a normal precon, you normally don't get like Chain Veils. That's a legit $25 card. Staple in Commander. Sees playing Pioneer in the Mono Green Devotion deck. That's a better card than you'd see in most precons. Chandra Awaken Inferno. That's a pretty good card for a precon deck. So there are good cards in these decks. And one of the things is like, I feel like Wizards, they have these weird little misses. We talked about it on the podcast yesterday. If you look at Commander Masters proper, they finally revealed the rest of the rares in the set, and it's the Battle Bond lands, the Commander lands, so those are a good land cycle to reprint again. But if you look at the main set, a big part of the conversation was focused on Smothering Tithe being upshifted to Mythic from Rare. And that's disappointing. That's a card that doesn't need to be upshifted, I would say, to Mythic, other than for Wizards trying to like maintain reprint equity. But because of that one card, this one card they upshifted from Rare to Mythic, the conversation has been dominated by that, and people overlook the fact that there's actually like 10 cards that were downshifted from Mythic to Rare, including like some expensive stuff like Zakama is a big one, but there's a big list of those cards. So to me, it seems like Wizards kind of shoots themselves in the foot a little bit sometimes. Like, just leave Smothering Tithe at Rare, even if it costs you a little bit of money, and have people focused on, wow, they downshifted the Titans, they downshifted Jakama, they downshifted all this stuff. Have that be the narrative. Have that be the conversation of, wow, yeah, this set's expensive, but look at all these cards that were Mythic I'm getting in the Rare slot now, rather than, oh, look at Smothering Tithe at Mythic now. So I feel like Wizards is not good at they're not good at PR. They're really not good at PR. Like those little things around the edges, it's kind of hilarious how bad they are. And like messaging in a way that like would help them so much and like diffuse so much of these issues with the community that people get upset about. So hey, welcome Spiral. Good to see you. So reminders, Replay YouTube. That's where you can find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Normal YouTube. Tomorrow we're going pretty deep. We got a really sweet Against Odds deck tomorrow. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but wow, is the deck actually kind of busted. We also a reminder that our sponsor today, if I can spell sponsor, oh my god, sponsor today, I still didn't do it right. Sponsor today is Card Kingdom. Maybe you need some Commander Masters cards. Maybe you need a precon deck. Maybe you want a fancy Filmware Stone or a reprinted Wrath of God with Moto art. I think that's Moto art. You can get them all over at cardkingdom.com/MTG Goldfish. Even get a free MTG Goldfish sticker. I'm curious if we're going to see the price of the precons drop now that we're seeing the cards. Like a couple of days ago, slivers were $140. So I'm wondering if the price will come down a little bit now that it's been revealed and people see that it's not like ridiculously over the top. Niatak, well, oh, maybe it's from the vault. You're right. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoop shit for you. Looney, good to see you. Otherwise, merch page, token, t-shirts, playmats, giveaway, support the stream, and the channel and site donations. Always appreciated. Never require $2 or more. Get your message read on stream. By the way, Seth, the Pioneer video with Cardmark was really good. So good to see Krim take out Rakdos. I can't believe he actually won that. Those Surge's Salvations came in super clutch out of the sideboard. I started the Caramel Apple Mead Rat recently. Just had an early sample. Oh boy, it's so tasty. That does sound tasty. I don't think I've ever drank mead. When I think of mead, I think of Renaissance festivals. That sounds like a Renaissance festival drink. So here's the decks on the docket. This is what I got so far, and we can brew decks as we go along. So we're working with new cards from the anthologies. Here's what I got so far. So Panza, actually 2 takes on it. I tried to build Panza without Karn. Karn is like really good in Panza though, but so I built Panza without Karn, and opponents kept playing the One Ring and drawing tons of cards, and I was like, boy, I really should just play Karn. Like, if I play Karn, I stop the One Ring, and I can tutor Liquid Metal Coating from the sideboard. So this is the dark side version. I tried to avoid it, but But the plan of Panza is bulb a lot of lands. The big new additions: Bloodbraid Elf, cascading to land destruction. Inferno Titan is a finisher, acidic slime, even more land destruction on a death touching body. So that's Panza. We also have Domain Zoo, which it might be the boringest of the decks. I don't know. It's got a lot of domain stuff. Why are we even considering domain? Well, we just got Tribal Flames, which is one of the best domain payoffs. 5 damage if we have all the land types for 2 mana. Ridiculous deal. We also just got Wild Nikado, which is a pretty good domain code. 1 mana 3/3. So basically trying to do domain aggro stuff. We also have the deck that I might be most excited about, but is probably also the worst. Is it Titans? Is it Giants? Basically, trying to wrap it to Frost Titan and Inferno Titan. And since we're playing a bunch of Titans, which happen to be Giants, we also got like Quakebringer, because it's a good Giant, Tectonic Giant, a Calamity Bear, Bone Crusher to fight through our opponent's One Rings. I don't know if the deck can win. This reminds me, I don't know if you were there for the earliest days of Budget Magic. The earliest days of Budget Magic, we played what do we call the deck? It was a land theft deck with Frost Titan in like annexes and just anything, Eminent Domain, I think it was, but anything that could steal lands. And Frost Titan was like one of the big payoffs in that deck. So I really miss that being a thing that you could do. And this deck reminds me a little bit of that. Frost Titan is a really nostalgic card for me, even though it's not that good. Can you turn up your microphone? I have everything maxed on my end and it's hard. Really? Am I too quiet? Is anyone else having issues with me being too quiet? Because I could turn up the mic. I didn't realize that was a thing. Is my mic? I think it's plugged in. Maybe just try refreshing. Because on my side, it looks like I'm kind of as loud as I should be. So maybe try refreshing. Hopefully that fixes it. The last deck is basically Indomitable Creativity, but on hard mode. Tooth and Nail, another one of the big new additions. Tooth and Nail's pretty sweet. If you get to 9 mana, you can entwine it. You search for 2 creatures, put them on the battlefield. So the idea of the deck is ramp and ramp and ramp, and also do some ramping and double your mana with Nissa to do some ramping. Primeval Titan, another big new addition to double ramp, can find a Nykthos to make even more mana. But essentially, if we get to 9 mana, we can do the Indomitable Creativity trick of getting World Spineworm and Xenagos, put them both into play, 30/30 trampling hasty World Spineworm. If we want to go janky, we can also like Nyx Plume Ancient just to make a ridiculous amount of mana. We can get Hornet Queens, we can do some Primal Command loops. So what deck are you most hyped for? What deck would you like to see first? And I will warn you, I don't know if any of these decks are good, so we might lose a lot today, but we're gonna try to do cool things along the way. Oh yeah, I miss Eminent Domain being a thing. Zoo. Who really votes for Zoo? I mean, Panza, Zoo, Tooth and Nail. Wow, a lot of people going for the Zoo. They want to see the Zoo action. I will say, Tribal Flame Snapcaster. That has some good like 2016 modern vibes. Maybe before that. Maybe 2014 modern vibes. Panza, land. Okay, so I think I see what people want. People want to see land destruction, and they want to see Zoo. Let's start with some Panza. Let's start blowing up some lands, and then we'll move on to Zoo number 2, and then we'll see if we get to the next decks on the list. There's always a way to make a poll. That sounds like so much work. All right, we're gonna skip over the non-Karn build. I think we just have to play Karn, as much as I would like to not play Karn, but I think we just have to play Karn. The Solid Peanuts, welcome to the Fishbowl for this second month. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big subscription for you. Thank you. So what's the plan of this deck? Okay, we're playing Panza. We want to blow up as many lands as possible. We start off fight ramping, hopefully into Stone Rain on turn 2 to blow up a land. Bloodbraid Elf can spin us into Goblin Rune Blaster, which we can kick off Cascade if we have the mana, or Stone Rain to blow up more lands. Acidic Slime blows up lands. Sawdust Demolisher mutates, blows up a land. We can use Karn to get our Liquid Metal Coating from the sideboard to blow up land every single turn. So that's basically the plan of the deck. Blow up lands, blow up lands, blow up lands. Inferno Titan comes down to close out the game. Minsk seems too easy. It seems too easy. Actually, what does Minsk even do on Arena? I mean, I'm sure it's really good, right? I know it's busted. It doesn't blow up a land, does it? It doesn't seem to blow up a land. Hamster, grow it, fling it. Hamster, grow it, fling it. Yeah, let's try it. Let's try it. What's more fun, drawing cards or destroying lands? Ooh. You know what we need is a Stone Rain that cantrips so we don't have to choose. Shouldn't we play the Lord of the Rings Mana Dork over Mystic? Maybe. I mean, we don't have many legend. I mean, I guess Karn is legendary and the One Ring's legendary. We're not really built around legends. The extra toughness I don't think matters as much in... we're playing best of 3 at the moment. I don't know if the extra toughness matters as much in formats without Ren. I guess it matters against Bowmasters. Oh, the other big news from today. Wizards out of the blue. So yesterday in the podcast, we were like talking about how we would rebalance some Arena cards, with the biggest one being Crucius, because Crucius is a ridiculously busted card that Wizards has just refused to rebalance. Woke up this morning, no announcement or anything. Wizards randomly rebalances Crucius. What do you think of the rebalancing of Crucius? So the rebalance is same exact text, same exact mana cost, but 1 toughness. So now it's a 3-1 rather than a 3-3. Think it's unplayable now? I mean, it does get got by Bowmasters now. Oh, this hand would really like some ramp, but land destruction, spin maybe into land destruction. Like, the curve is there. The curve is there. We should put in white for reprieve. Ooh. Follow the Thran. Some follow the Thran action. Oh, the Nahiri deck's really... That deck really surprised me how well it performed. Yeah, I think making it more susceptible to removal is good. My first thought was make it trigger on your upkeep rather than your end step, so your opponent gets an entire turn to kill it before it does anything. Although, I think this is a fine solution as well. What's the new cards in this deck? Bloodbraid Elf is one of the new cards. Acidic Slime is one of the new cards. And then we also have Inferno Titan as our finisher. So Acidic Slime, Bloodbraid, Inferno Titan are the big ones. About it with the Fatal Push. Well, next turn we get to blow up the first land. We'll see how far behind we are. Oh god. Jaracel. They didn't rebalance this one. This color pie abomination. They refuse to rebalance that one. Well, Rune Blast, your red source. About it. Dockside should have been in Commander Masters. What do you think? I would agree, yeah. Dockside, Mana Crypt, those are probably 2 of the biggest misses, I would say, as far as like high value cards that really should have been reprinted. Oh boy. Opponent gets in. We will take it. Okay. Oh, opponent passes. Well, we will play a land. Acidic Slime. Keep blowing up the lands. Go for the throw of the Rune Blaster. Land number 2 down. Okay, we're kind of doing it. Ish. Maybe. But now Jaracel gets to... This card is ridiculous. Motherfucker! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Oh, no. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. We are drawing a lot of nothing. Own it. Gets in with the 3/3. Hits us. Pass. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh my goodness! 22 lands. 22 lands, and we're drawing them all. I'm surprised by Sliverhive not in the precon. Me as well. That seems like a really easy inclusion that would have saved Wizards a lot of complaints. I mean, yes, Dockside was reprinted just a year ago. However, it's such an in-demand card that I think it still should have been reprinted, right? Like, it's just in such high demand. Well, opponent's got the sack lands to go into our land destruction. Well, we finally killed the Jaracell. Making lunch while watching Magic. Seth, did you see the deck I submitted you for Commander Clash? Really? Really? As good as Inferno Titan is, it... Oh boy. We're seeing a decade of power creep. Inferno Titan, I love it. It's such a sweet card. I don't think it beats the Shieldred though, unfortunately. Shieldred almost undoes our ETB. Oh, sacks the Peatland. Gains some life. Okay, now has officially undone Inferno Titan's ETB. About it. Draws into another go for the throat, and dead. So I don't know, what's the generation after Zoomer? Whatever generation after Zoomer is Jund. I've been playing the domain deck you posted in Historic. It's really good when the land base works. That is the biggest issue with that deck for sure. With no fetch lands, it's really tough to make the mana consistent. Fetch lands are kind of like the mistake is only running 3 rings. Oh, the last one's in the sideboard for Karn, so technically we're running 7 rings. Technically it's 7. Well, we'll bring in the Souls here to have another answer to Shieldred, our nemesis, and then it's probably not correct, but I'm gonna cut a Karn because I don't like Karn. Remember when everyone said Shieldred was bad? Good times. Yeah, Shieldred ended up being very good. That's true. About it. Well, alright. This hand's good. We'll see how much of it survives our Jund opponent's endless stream of discard and removal, but in theory, blow up some lands, 1 ring to refuel. In practice, mana dork down. Tap land go. About it. The deck command doesn't have the updated deck list. Oh, it might not have the one with Karn. Yeah, if you remind me, I will try to update it in between matches. Hey, see you, Doug. Good luck with the work. All right, there's very Jundy. Down it. Fatal Push into Thoughtseize, into Jaracell, flashback Thoughtseize. One thing I realized about Arena is Diamond is like the worst. Oh, it is the worst rank. It's like the most try-hardy rank. No. Oh, they named land. Okay, so they didn't get the All right, this thing. The one that hasn't been rebalanced yet. Jaracell. Thoughtseize number 2. It's a very, I feel like it's a very try-hardy rank. So you run into the people that are doing all the super try-hardy stuff to try to get to Mythic. Well, we will kick a Rune Blaster. Although, unfortunately, Jaracell, I mean, technically our deck should probably play this, right? We're in the colors. About it. Thoughtseizes again. And goes to combat, gets and hits us. Down to 17. And untap land passes. Well, okay. Kick a Rune Blaster. GG. GG. Well, we blew up a lot of lands. We did blow up a lot of lands. Apparently, though, our opponent's deck doesn't really need lands. We don't have 1 or 2 mana value spells. I mean, this casts anything, right? Being comment on your turn, you may cast a spell. Yeah, I mean, it actually casts anything. Like, you can flashback creatures. Like, we could Llanowar into... I guess we don't have any 2-drops, really. So I guess that would be the pinch. We'd have to add a 2-drop. Opponent. A little more removal. Have you tried the new blue-black ring deck in Modern? What's the blue-black ring deck? Opponent. More removal. Down to 9. And on to the next one. Again, yeah, you can cast creatures with it. Artifacts. Name a type of spell and you can cast it. It does have to work up the mana value chain. So you got to cast a 1 and then a 2 and then a 3. So eventually, in theory, it'll run out. Why do people concede so fast in Historic Brawl? There's not really any punishment for conceding in Historic Brawl. So it makes it very easy for people to be like, oh, that's a commander I don't like. Or that's an island and I don't like playing blue decks. And they just scoop. So I think that's a big reason. That's one of the reasons I kind of wish there was a... That's one of the reasons I kind of wish there was a ranked queue or something, so you'd have a place or like events where you could pay some small amount of gold to like, not to like make it super competitive, but just to discourage people from scooping for no reason, which seems to happen quite a bit. That is a popular thing to do in Historic Brawl, unfortunately. About it. Mono black, eh? All right, so Shieldred, One Ring. Maybe Mana Dorks are not playable. Are Mana Dorks just not playable? This is the second deck in a row where Orcish Bowmaster has just absolutely wrecked us. Oh, this is our deck. Wencube! Not exactly our... No, definitely not our deck. They're playing One in the World. Whenever one of our creatures you control die, draft a card from its spellbook once a turn. I have no idea what that card is. Wencube, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoop cheer for you. Thank you. Yeah, well, how about that, Nykthos? How do you like us now? Yeah, the problem with Delighted Halfling is it doesn't make colored mana for our deck. Maybe it's still worth it to like have worse mana but have an extra toughness. We also have got a little unfortunate with our fast lands here coming off the top at the worst spot. If we kill something they draft something off of whatever this card is. Oh, that can't be good. I mean, yeah, I think we're pretty dead. Let's kill the Bowmasters. I'd rather have colorless mana than have my Mana Dork die. Yeah, I mean, that's mostly true-ish. Opponent. Is the deck running Ghost Quarter? There's a couple of Field of Ruins. No Ghost Quarter, though. This is a new blue-black ring deck in Modern. Let me see this ring deck. Opponent. Not sure what they're even thinking about here. Oh, they're salting out. We cast a removal spell. Oh, I see. So I think I have seen this deck. Yeah, it's looks like a solid Dimir control deck. Seems solid. I don't know. We tend to not play that many control decks. Should we play more control decks? It's really, really funny. I would say, out of all the content I make, control is by far the archetype we play the least. Opponent. All right, time's out. Apparently gets a random card from the enchantment. Opponent. Sauron's Ransom has spiked in price. Yeah, I don't know if I buy. I don't know if I buy it. I'm not convinced. I mean, maybe it's that good. Is it actually? I don't know. When I read it, it's. I mean, it's so the ring tempts you. That's an upside, but essentially it's a divination, right? Like the end result is so you top 4 cards, face down pile, face up pile. You're gonna get 2 of the 4 most likely. I mean, it doesn't seem bad, but I am surprised that it's. I am surprised that it's a card that. I mean, I guess it's fine in control. If you're trying to keep your opponent's just not playing anymore for some reason. Okay, well, I guess if you're not gonna play, we'll just keep rune blasting you. Yeah, maybe I'll have to try it. A little control is probably good. Oh yeah, actual fact or fiction is legal in Modern now, right? No one plays FOF. So sad. So sad. We have a new donation from Donation Alert's too loud. All right, I can turn down a bit. We have a new donation from wow. Magic is way easier, but way more boring when your opponent's not there. From WhenCube, paying to get my sub-anniversary message read. Since I'd like your thoughts, I find it frustrating that IRC's pack rewards in all the limited options are historic right now. It leaves non-historic players out in the cold for the month. But WhenCube, what about Alchemy? What about everyone's favorite format, Alchemy? I mean, I definitely can empathize with that. And I do wonder, I don't even know if that counts as a win. Like, we did kind of win, but that's because our opponent just wasn't there. I actually wonder, for you arena players out there, what do you think about having rewards not be standard focused? I'm actually kind of wondering if that's a good idea. It seems like with standard being the biggest format on Arena, it would seem like you would want your rewards to always be standard, right? I don't know. That would be my intuition. At the same time, oh God. Yeah. Well. Okay. This is not ideal. Leyline of Abundance, Mana Dork. You know what's really good against trying to blow up lands? Whatever is happening now. Whoa! Wow, what a fast start for our opponent there. Yeah, the turn 0 ley line into the 2-mana Llanowar Elves into turn 2 the 1 ring. Kind of good. Kind of really good. It would be nice if we got a choice. Yeah, I wish Arena had more optionality for players. Like, if you're someone who doesn't want to play. Oh God. All right. Opponent. Every mana dork in the world will blow up the Nykthos. Although sadly, every mana dork in the world still exists. Opponent. The One Ring is such a silly card. Opponent. Storm the Festival with 2 lands on turn 3. About it. Maybe they'll die of the ring. That never act. I played a deck. There's a deck coming up where you play the ring a ton. The actual percentage of dying to the ring is incredibly low. I think at this point I've played hundreds and hundreds of matches, a couple hundred matches at least with One Ring decks. I think I've lost to the ring once. I think it's happened to a single time. So I don't actually think the ring has a. It makes you think it has a downside, but it doesn't actually have a downside. The downside doesn't actually. Really nice. Opponent, you have You have 5 mana dorks. You're casting the One Ring on turn 2. My very fair turn 4 Goblin Room Master. Oh, all right. All the mana dorks. I mean, when you get to draw 5 cards a turn, you're gonna find your pieces. The rank plus to fairy time relevant modern is insane. You never die. The rank plus a lot of things is insane. It's really good. And modern against burn, it definitely has a downside. Although it also like gives you protection for a turn. Opponent. The ring is you lose a life for each burn encounter on it. Opponent. Cavalier of Thorns. Finds. All right. I think that's satisfactory. Why not Mana Dork into Primeval Titan? Wait. Why not who Mana Dork into Primeval Titan? Do you think the design of the One Ring was a mistake? Seems like bad design for it becoming ubiquitous. I think it's intentional. I think Wizards. I think it's. I think it was what it was supposed to be. Maybe it was a little better than they thought, but at this point, like, I don't know. I guess it's one of two things. Either Wizards, I mean, is pushing Lord of the Rings set and having the One Ring be one of the strongest cards in the game was viewed as a positive. I guess it's also possible that they just don't test for constructed formats anymore outside of like standard or whatever. Like, I guess it's also possible that everyone just like jammed it in their commander decks at WotC and was like, this is like a good commander card. And no one actually like bothered to play it in other formats. That could also be a possibility. I do think that it's probably a little or a lot stronger than is ideal. I don't know. It's you feel the power. Like having the One Ring on the battlefield is a really good feeling. Like when you have the One Ring on the battlefield and you are just drawing all the cards and like auto winning, it does feel good. Although when your opponent is doing that, it feels much less good. Watching the stream today at work instead of working in case my boss says, I got you. What are you doing? If the boss comes, I got you covered. We can find a way to justify this as work, right? This is work. All right. Well, turn 2 Stone Rain. We can't ask for a whole lot more than that. Turn 2 Stone Rain. Actually, not turn 2 Stone Rain because of Memorial at War. Okay, that does change. Yeah, we're going to put Molten Impact to the bottom. Okay, so yeah, that is awkward. Maybe we shouldn't play this card. Maybe it's not worth it. Well, no ley line, so that's good. I don't know if the late game power of having land destruction in the mana base is worth the tappedness of the land. Because we're going to see oh, okay, we draw a red source. That's helpful. The mana dorks are still super obnoxious, but all right, blow up your forest. Our opponent just gets to play all these creatures that are essentially lands, which are tough. What are we playing today? Right now, we're trying to blow up lands. Although, our opponent's endless stream of mana dorks is making our plan tricky. All right. Come on, Bloodbraid. Show us a Stone Rain. Show us a Stone Rain, buddy. Soul Seer. That's kind of a Stone Rain at this point, right? It kills a mana dork. That's kind of like blowing up a land. Get in with a Bloodbraid. Come on. Come on, deck. More land destruction. This is where if we can find a... Oh, Nykthos. Okay, we really need the land destruction. Forceful Cultivator searches for a land onto the battlefield for 2 mana. That does mean our opponent has no lands in hand. Oh, we draw a tap land. Well, get him with a Bloodbraid Elf. New update, anything good? Well, so far we've blown up some lands. We haven't won. We haven't won, but we have blown up some lands. Rangerman, welcome to the fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup to your favorite. Thank you. Thank ya. Opponent has Karn. And they're gonna tutor a land from their sideboard. They do, and it's even indestructible. We got to get rid of the Karn. How do we do this? 1, 2. Oh, Bloodbraid. Come on. Come on, Bloodbraid. I think most of our hits are land destruction, right? Like a pretty high percentage. Come on, Bloodbraid. Show these arena players why you were so good 15 years ago by hitting a land destruction spell. Come on. All right, that's just another mana dork. Just another mana dork. Well, that's not ideal. Attack the Karn, attack the Karn. Yeah, that would have been a really nice turn to hit a land destruction spell. I'll play the tap land, pass the turn. Bloodbraid. What do you think about Fable randomly getting banned in Alchemy for 2 months? I mean, I think it was correct. I don't know what they're... I don't know how a wizard's brain works with Alchemy at this point. I have no idea what they're actually thinking. Huh. A mana dork, imagine that. Well, we'll blow up the Nykthos. Play. One of the downsides of putting your mana dorks in your deck is you do draw them sometimes. They're really sweet when you have them on turn 1 or turn 2. A little worse when you draw them on turn 5 or 7. We have more mana dorks than Mono Green Devotion at this point. Kiora. I mean, opponent's kind of down to 8, right? That's like sort of good, although their mana dorks tapping for 2 mana is less good. Moon it. Vines 1 ring. Protection from everything draws a card. Where's our 1 rings? Well, acidic slime is... So I think it's actually best to blow up the ley line here. Blow up the ley line. Actually, let's just send everything at Kiora. We lose a mana dork, but what do we even need our mana dorks for at this point? About it. Getting rid of the Kiora totally makes it worth it. Yeah, opponent gonna kill Llanowar. I mean, this could be a case where the 1 ring could actually matter, right? Our opponent takes a damage. If they draw, they're gonna take 2 damage next turn. It could... Oh, no Nykthos. Cavalier of Thorns. Opponent blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we did it. I think we made the 1 ring kill someone. I think it's actually happening. Watch it go wrong somehow, but I think this works, right? Are we beating Mono Green Devotion? Are we doing it? Swing. Bloodbraid Elf? Bloodbraid Elf in 2023? Bloodbraid Elf, vote it. Blocks and blocks. 1, 2, 3. That looks like 5. That looks like 5 points of damage. And then the 1 rings 2. 5 plus 2 equals GG, maybe? Opponent. How do you like the power of the ring now? How do you like the power of the ring now? Okay, after my speech about how the downside never matters, it just mattered. It did actually just matter. The Anthology just came out a couple hours ago. Yeah. Oh, could you imagine if they had like Life Goes On, or what's the green storm, instant speed storm card? If they had something like that, I guess. Is it even worth bringing in Haywire Might? So here's the thing I don't like about the 1 ring. The thing I don't like about the 1 ring is it reminds me a little bit of like Weather the Storm. Yeah, it even has storm in the name, obviously. The thing I don't like about the 1 ring is it reminds me a little bit of Soul Ring and Commander sometimes, where the person who draws it just goes so far ahead so quickly. Or maybe Ugin when it was in Standard, where it just like, it's the only thing that matters. Where it seems like whoever draws their 1 ring is just super favored to win the game. So I don't like the swinginess of it. I also think it's one of the lessons Wizards has obviously learned recently is colorless cards are very, very risky. Because colorless cards can go in any deck. We've seen a huge shift to Wizards. Most artifacts now, especially the good ones, end up being colored artifacts, and they're not colorless like they used to be, because Wizards has kind of realized that leads to some bad outcomes sometimes. I wonder, there's probably no way to make the One Ring colored, right? Like, how would you make it a colored card? But it is kind of a rarity these days to see a really, really push colorless card, because Wizards has just mostly moved away from that. For the most part, Wizards has moved away from printing push colorless cards. Yeah, I mean, I think leaving the Might in the sideboard makes the most sense because we have 4 Karns but only 1 Might. So our odds of finding it are actually higher with Karn getting it from the sideboard. Oh boy, there's no way this hand's going to be fast enough against mono green. This is a good hand of cards we want, but I just don't think it's going to be fast enough. Well, this one could maybe be fast enough. Come on, no ley line. Opponent's mulliganing. Keep going. Keep going, mono green. Keep going. Keep going. Anyone know how much the precons are? So the precons. We'll talk more about the new cards in a minute. Ooh, Copperline George. You know what would make this hand amazing is a Stone Rain off the top. Magic gods. How about a Stone Rain off the top right now? Right now, right this second. Stone Rain. Not a Stone Rain. Okay, that's okay. Next turn we get to Bloodbraid and or Karn. Hit the Kiora for 1. Opponent did a lot of mulliganing. We might be mean mono green. Opponent plays a land. Elvish Mystic, that's fine. And opponent passing. Oh, Rune Blaster doesn't actually blow up a land here. Okay, so when this creature mutates, destroy target non-creature permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 green beast. So we can mutate, but we can't attack with it this turn. We could play Karn. Actually, what do we play this turn? What is the right choice here? Yeah, I mean, mono green does mulligan pretty aggressively for its nut draws. Maybe, I guess we just Bloodbraid. Bloodbraid, it's hard for Bloodbraid to go too wrong, right? Yeah, let's spin it to win it. Bloodbraid into a Molten Impact. That's actually kind of fine. Out of your delighted halfling. I will accept a nice for that one. That one actually was a pretty nice spin. Bloodbraid, attack the Kiora. Opponent doesn't have enough mana to storm the festival. We might be good. We might be good. Opponent. Ooh, Cavalier. Cavalier's like our opponent's best draw. Cavalier's actually legit scary. Wow. Okay. Cavalier is our opponent's best draw. Opponent gets to draw a card. They get to tutor, search for a land. They find a Nick, though. So golly. Golly gee. Wait, are we losing? Are we actually losing now? Oh, that's wild. Well, let's mutate. Mutate on the... Mutate on the Bloodbraid. Over. We have to destroy the Nykthos. So if we attack, they kill this with the Cavalier and get back Nykthos. That doesn't seem ideal. Let's pass the turn. Wonder Bob, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for... Oh, no. Draws a card. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup chair for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Draws a card with Kiora. Tutors from their... Oh, does not tutor from their sideboard. Delighted Halfling. At least that one doesn't draw a card. Come on, deck. Come on, deck. Colorpoosin Forest. Play the land. Play the land and what? How do we do this? Is Crypt even worth it? Like, what is their graveyard doing at the moment? I mean, I guess we could get Crypt. So Rune Blaster doesn't do anything. All right, we'll play the Karn. We'll take down the Karn. Ooh, Great Henge could be sweet. Great Henge seems like... Ooh, we also have... We could just take the One Ring. We would like the One Ring. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they have 5 mana. They have 6 mana. Do we just take the ring for next turn? So Liquid Metal Coating starts the land destruction plan. Great Henge would come down and start drawing us cards next turn. The One Ring. I mean, there's also the possibility of our opponent drawing a Karn, which would ruin all of our days. If we're going Graveyard Hate, I think we would take Unlicensed Hearse. Yeah, we're gonna risk it. We're gonna take the One Ring. Take the One Ring, pass the turn. No Nykthos. No Nykthos. Please. Please no Nykthos. Or Karn. No Nykthos or Karn. Those are the two that are really bad. Okay, Llanowar, that one's fine. The awkward part is, if they attack with Cavalier, I don't think we can kill it. Alright, opponent's just gonna pass. We draw Rune Blaster. Well, alright. Take down card. Get a Great Henge. Play a Great Henge. Play a Bloodbraid. Get a Llanowar. Draw a card, get a counter. Bloodbraid. Draw a card, get a counter. Oh, there's another One Ring. All right, pass the turn. Okay, all right, we're going for it. Opponent. Forceful Cultivator. That's fine. They need to play more non-basics. These Rune Blasters are kind of sad at the moment. About it. Opponent. Ooh, Soulseer. Interesting. We could go Great Henge Beatdowns. Fire it up, get in there. I think we might be winning, though. We might actually be beating Mono Green. Animating the Great Henge is funny, although I think they'd still just trade with it. Like, they have enough stuff they can block through it. I think we play One Ring. Draw a card. Take up Karn.
Awaken.
And kill the Kiora and kill a Manadork. Okay. Without Kiora, Nykthos becomes a bit less scary. Next turn, we can do the Karn thing and start eating lands that way if we have to, and we have the Stone Rain. Storm of the Festival. That's a good one. That is a good one. What do they find? Oh. The worst Storm the Festival ever. Yes, that one was 2 mana dorks. 2 mana dorks for 6 mana. Okay, so we're going for it. We came here to do one thing, and we're gonna do that one thing. Karn the Great Creator, tutoring from our sideboard, Liquid Metal Coating. Actually, let's first play Elvish Mystic. Draw a card. I mean, we're going for the land destruction. We're going for the land destruction. Elvish Mystic. Also draw a card. And play a Karn. And play a Forest. Play the Liquid Metal Coating. Nice forest you have over there, friend. Karn. Out of here, Forest. Pass the turn. Still, Nykthos still could just beat us. Like, Nykthos off the top and we could still just die. Another Kiora. And a Mystic. About it. Passing. One Ring. Sure, that's a Stone Rain. Let's draw a few cards. Oh, this is going well. This is going well. Liquid Metal Coating. Go after a forest. Karn. Eat the forest. Stone Rain. Blow up your forest. Stone Rain. Blow up your forest. So good. So good. Molten Impact. Hit a mana dork of some kind. Oh, I guess we could have played a land to prevent that. Play a mountain. Play a Rune Blaster. Draw a card. Oh, Brotherhood End, I think, ends our opponent. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The literal end of the Brotherhoods. No lands. Oh. Leyline, okay. Oh, our opponent's gonna weep. Our opponent's gonna weep. We're running out of things to blow up. Our opponent's not drawing enough lands for our deck to do its thing. I'm kind of disappointed in our opponent here. Well, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I imagine this just makes our opponent stop playing Magic. Let's go with 3 damage to each creature and Planeswalker. And then hit the Kiora. And then play the tap land. And opponent scoops it up. Oh, that was a good one. That's kind of the dream. Not a flawless victory because we couldn't get rid of the Cavalier and the Kiora, but that was a lot of lands being blown up. We definitely benefited from our opponent mulliganing, although our opponent is a deck that mulligans pretty aggressively. So I don't feel too bad just because mono green, especially the builds with the ley line, tend to mulligan specifically for the ley line to try to find the ley line. That was a pretty good game. That was a pretty good game. So what do you think of the commander? Someone asked about the commander precons. What are our new? I haven't actually read the new cards from today. Are any of the new cards actually sweet? I saw a couple on Twitter, but I haven't actually. What are the new? Let's look at least one new card today. Jaya's Phoenix. 5-mana 3/3 Flying Haste. When it deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, copy the next loyalty ability. Activate this turn. When you activate it, you may choose new targets for it. Whenever you cast a planeswalker spell, you may return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. Meh. I mean, seems fine. Actually, is it fine? I mean, it's fun. It's fun in a planeswalker deck. Copying your abilities is a cool thing. Coming back for free to play a planeswalker is not bad. It is only a 3/3 though, so it's not that big. I really like Vranos. Whatever it is. The blue planeswalker. Masked Inquisitor. 5-mana 5 loyalty. +1, up to 2 other target planeswalkers you control phase out at the beginning of your next end step. That's actually a really strong ability in a Super Friends deck. Hey, what's up, Roberto? I love you too. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. That's a really strong ability. That's a really good way to protect your planeswalkers. Like, if you're playing Super Friends and gonna have a bunch of planeswalkers, that's like Kaido's self ability, except you can do this every turn. -2 for each opponent. Return up to 1 target non-land permanent that player controls to its owner's hand. Okay, so kind of like a Jason Mind Sculptor almost, but scaling for commander. -7, target artifact you control becomes a 9/9 construct with vigilance, indestructible, and can't be blocked. Wow, that's actually a clock. What is the lore of this card? Is this just a brand new character, or is this a character from Magic's past? I'm not familiar with Vranos. Vranos is sweet. I would play that in a Super Friends deck for sure. Like, if I was playing a deck with a bunch of planeswalkers, I would definitely play that for the +1. The other 2 modes are fine. It reaches the ultimate in only 2 turns, which is good. But I imagine, like, you play this, you phase out your 2 best planeswalkers so he can't get killed. I like that Wizards is trying to fix the weakness of Planeswalkers in Commander, which is they just die too much. When you got 3 opponents that can attack your Planeswalkers, they're really easy to kill. Vranos or Vorado seems like a good way to help get around that just by phasing them out. What do you think about Chandra's hair? It's a frame break. Frame break. It's kind of covering the word. It looks like Chandra Legacy's ire, but apparently it's actually fire. I mean, I like the frame breaks, but I don't know about covering the text. Mr. Peaches! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. I was getting my haircut. Speaking of toupees, I was getting my haircut over the weekend, and my little 4-year-old nephew was there, and I just got like the sides like trimmed up, shaved down, and I talked to my nephew. I was like, yeah, how's it look? Like, what do you think of the haircut? And he said, oh, it's okay, but you still got your wig. Apparently the man bun thing is a wig to a 4-year-old. I think they should have gone full gone with her hair. Daniel from Brazil. Hey, what's up, Daniel? How are you? Good to see you. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Wow, we're getting wrecked. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Seth, will you change from Saffron Olive to man bun thing? Yeah, I'll consider it. Maybe for a week. Hey, Seth, good to see you. I have 2 lists on a budget to buy. What do you think for Cruel Entertainment and LD? Ooh, Mother of Runes. That is another new edition. No, we're gonna multi-impact that. A dead new edition. Mother of Runes is a good one though. That's an impactful one. Oh, wait. No. You missed the craziest comment in the WotC stream today. They said that any new card in precons is not canon in Magic lore. No, that can't be. Is that really? If we get Mana Tithe here, I'm gonna cry. Okay. Let's go after the non-pain land opponent. If you want to make mana, it is going to hurt. Cycles on Earth, sure. Well, blow up the concealed courtyard. Did they actually truly say that? Oh, Fatal Push. Yeah, that's fair. All right, more land destruction. That can't actually be a thing. That's a wild take. I've heard a lot of wild things from this stream. I wish I had watched it. I'm gonna have to go watch the replay after we're done streaming, because I've just heard there were some really kind of far out there takes. I did notice that I caught the end of it, and I did notice people were asking about the Sliverland constantly, and they would not respond. No matter how many times they asked, they just wouldn't respond. Opponent wants to get back their Giver of Runes. Okay, I think we take this opportunity to blow up the card draw land. Do a little Field of Ruining. All right, so Daniel, what was your question about the decks? I have them pulled up. All right, opponent gets their Giver. I mean, we got Molten Impacts for days, so we should be able to kill this eventually. Garth One-Eyed. Ooh. Wait, we're blinking. Cruel Entertainment. Choose a player, then choose another target player. The first player controls the second player. That looks... So I'm imagining the idea is just to, like, cast this as many times as possible. Just, like, tutor up Cruel Entertainment. Just kind of mess with the game. I could see that be making friends, or also losing friends, depending on who you're playing with. That is a really funny idea though. Oh, are we gonna waste our Molten Impact just killing a Giver? That feels so bad. But if we don't, I mean, I guess we could just attack with Den of the Bugbear. You know what? I think yeah, all right. Whatever. Oh, that wastes that's actually really bad. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have done that. Because we waste the Molten Impact for next time, too. That's like a double waste. That deck looks really funny, for sure. I love the notion that these cards need to be more expensive because they're powerful. Like, it took the power required to turn 1,000 homes for 6 days to produce this product, so we have to charge more. Yeah, oh, yeah. The take that it's not a premium product is wild to me, too. The idea that it's not a premium product. The other thing I heard, and this is one that I'm not... So, again, I haven't watched the stream yet. If you watch the stream... Let me know if this was actually true. But I heard they said that something to the extent of half the fun of precons is upgrading them. So bad mana bases are actually a good thing. Again, this is just what people told me because I haven't watched the stream yet. I missed it because I was working on these decks. Was something to that extent actually said? Because that's one of the that's also just like, even if that's true, don't say it. Don't even if they didn't say that, don't say something that made people watching the stream come away from the stream feeling like you said that. Because even if that's not the exact quote, like, don't say anything that might make people think that, because that's not gonna go over well. Yeah, that's something you just keep in your brain. You don't actually say that out loud. All these tap lands are a good thing because it gives you the joy of upgrading. It almost reminds me of the, like, we need to have bulk rares in the set, because without all the bulk rares, how do we know what a good rare was? if you have nothing to compare it to. How would you know that Oko? How would you know that Oko was a good card if, oh, chill, opponent. How do you know that Oko was a good card if, insert random bulk rare didn't exist? You would never experience the joys of Oko. Umberjed, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Well, all right. I guess it's time for Den of the Bugbear to do a little bugging on Liliana here. Well, all right. Opponent's empty-handed. We're also empty-handed. We're going to hold on to this Carpusin for us in case our opponent draws a Thoughtseize. I just got here. Have we done the other decks already? This is the first deck. We'll probably switch after... Ooh, Gix. Oh, stop drawing so many lands. We'll probably switch to another deck after this match, so we get in at least 2 decks today. About it. We might have to Den of the Bugbear block the Gix, as bad as that feels, because we really can't let this start snowballing. Opponent, Silent Clearing. Cracks the Silent Clearing. Goes to combat. I wonder if there's any world where it's fine to take... Well, they're just going to pass anyway. Oh, okay. Well, the power of the ring. Okay, now we win. We drew the 1 card, so now we win. We will blow up the non-pain land, Stone Rain U. Oh, as rough as losing to the One Ring is, when you have it on the battlefield, it's... Oh, we haven't seen Inferno Titan yet, have we? Opponent gonna do... Oh, Inferno Titan would be so good here. Sniping all of these Spirito kids. Opponent plays a land. Oh, this Gix is a problem, though. We can't actually stop Elvish Mystic. That's bad. Rune Blaster, Copperline, George. Huh. So opponent's gonna start drawing a lot of lands. What do we... Or a lot of cards. So I guess we 1, 2, 3, and 4. Rune Blaster, kick it. I mean, I guess they can draw cards as long as we just don't let them cast the cards, is our current game plan. Like, draw with your Gix, but whatever. Like, you're not gonna have the lands to cast them. The problem is if they hit Shieldred, it's real bad. Because then the One Ring becomes super painful. Opponent getting in with the Spirits. They do take damage, though. So opponent drops to 9. Oh, this is going to be close. This is going to be close. Opponent Down to 9, draws 2. Come on, no shield rids. Lingering Souls, that's fine. And a tap land. One ring. Oh, we drew Inferno Titan. Oh, Inferno Titan's gonna be so sweet here. It's gonna be so sweet. Oh, we have enough mana. We can do both. All right. Bloodbraid Elf. Spin it to win it. Oh, 2013 Magic is back. We hit a mana dork. Okay, not that exciting, but sure, whatever. Llanowar, Bloodbraid, and now the real payoff, Inferno Titan. We will actually just kill the Gix. Yeah, let's just kill the... Actually, you know what? Let's let the Gix live. No, we gotta kill the Gix. Let's kill the Gix. Get rid of the Gix. Another Llanowar Elves. Go to combat. Hit you with the Bloodbraid and the Rune Blaster and the Goblin. Oh. Does the One Ring make Jund playable in Modern? If it was only legal in Boomer Jund, I mean, it probably makes it better. I think the One Ring makes almost any deck better. The problem is, not literally every deck. It's not that good in aggro, but it makes a lot of decks better. I think the problem is it makes other decks even more better, if that makes any sense. Like, Jund gets 20% better because they have the One Ring, but Omnath gets 50% better because they get the One Ring. So Jund actually ends up worse overall because other decks are just better at taking advantage of the One Ring than they are. I wonder if we'll ever see Teo again outside of War of the Spark. Speaking of Teo, I'm glad that you mentioned that. We might have gotten a new Teo today, actually. After this, we'll talk about... We talked about some of the show with the Lingering Souls. Actually, Inferno Titan's a pretty good answer to Lingering Souls. One Ring. Draw some cards. Bloodbraid Elf. Spin it to win it. Into Stone Rain. Yes. Out of your land. We'll even pay the 1. Goblin Rune Blaster. Kick it. Out of your land. Go to combat. Attack with everything. Ping, ping, ping. Inferno Titan's still pretty good. Inferno Titan's still not bad. I got beat by Aragorn the Uniter and 5-color Omnath in Modern yesterday. It was kind of cool. I saw Mengu had a deck that he posted about on Twitter that was something like that. It looked like a cool idea. We'll have to try that at some time. Argon is a cool card. It seems like it could go in 5-color Niv too if you wanted to. Are you feeling the vibe in the air today? Mostly smoke. Are any of you in the smoky land today? It's so strange. Why, outside of obviously all the global warming stuff, but like, why this year are we getting so much smoke from wildfires? Never in my entire life has upstate New York has gotten smoke from wildfires like it is now. I'm curious what conditions, like why is it happening now? But yeah, it's a second day in a row you've had another air quality warning. Not as bad as like a month ago when it was literally like the worst air in the world or something. It was gonna be really bad. Oh, it's just a particularly bad wildfire season again. I see. That makes sense. So that makes sense. I can see that. Which probably ties back into global warming, I assume, in some way. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the big picture is climate change for sure. Supposedly the wind shifted south and so Canada is dry. Yeah, definitely something I've never experienced before here. I know if you're on the West Coast, you end up being used to it eventually, or like maybe that's not the right way, maybe not used to it, but you've dealt with it many times before. I always hear about California and other places out west having to deal with it. First time I've had to deal with it in New York though. Is Clothis good here against Souls? So the thing about Lingering Souls is If you are a wise Lingering Souls player, it shouldn't be, because you can always play it and flash it back right away at 5 mana, and then you don't have to worry about it getting exiled. So it is pretty easy to play around Graveyard Hate with Lingering Souls if you want to. Esper Sentinel, eh? So opponent's just like white-black things. All right, Veil Push, sure. Hits us to 17. Inquisition. Well, opponent's off to a fast start here. A scarily fast start. Hey, what's up, American Heart Association? Welcome. How are you? How are things today? Memorial of War. I really don't want to let our opponent draw a card. But opponent's got the Fear of the Stone Rain. It's not even that good, but they got the fear. They got the fear. Hey, what's up, Dragon Roosty? How are you? We're just, oh no, Gix. We're just blowing up lands. Just casually blowing up some lands. That's it. No big deal. Yeah, we got to kill this Gix, unfortunately. Kill the Gix, pay the 1. In theory, Acidic Slime can blow up this Esper Sentinel if it comes to that. If our opponent finds Lingering Souls, we are going to need a Brotherhood End. About it. Hits us for 1, down to 15. And wedding announcement, sure. We are drawing a lot of nothing. Well, okay. So I think our plan is kill them both, pay the 1. Play a Lair of the Hydra, and then Trusted Acidic Slime's going to save us. I don't know how this game works. Does it play anything like Yu-Gi-Oh? Similar in the sense that you will build the deck out of cards that you collect or trade for or whatever, and then play it against your opponent. The actual mechanics of the games are relatively different, I would say. But yeah, thinking of it as Yu-Gi-Oh, or something similar to Yu-Gi-Oh is it's close enough. Close enough. Ooh, opponent discards a Lingering Souls. And flashes it back and makes a token. Oh, this is awkward. Oh no. Oh, we really don't want to discard this Brotherhood End. Our opponent will take down Liliana, right? I mean, I guess we could just sweep instead. Oh, this is actually a super tough. This is a super tough position. What do we do about this? Slime can hit artifact, enchantment, or land. I'll play the land. Are they going to take down Liliana is essentially the entire question here. We're gonna vote yes. I think they are. Let's blow up the wedding announcement. If our opponent takes up Lily, we might actually be in scary shape because we only have 2 Brotherhood Ends. And we're gonna want to kill these tokens at some point. Oh, all right, opponent. Saw the line. And sacks the Silent Clearing to draw a card. You know what a good draw would be? A good draw might be the One Ring. Where's our One Ring? Where's our One Ring? So American Heart Association, are you like the actual American Heart Association, or is that just your Twitch name? About it, Esper Sentinel. Gets in. Well, okay. So we make this a 3/3. Well, all right. Lair the Hydra. Make it a 3/3. Both at Lily. Bono blocks.
You know, I think you
Well, Copperline George past the turd. Oh, that's awesome. The actual hearts. Oh, I actually, it was a long time ago, but I actually did a CPR class one time. It was when I was a teenager. My mom really wanted me to do it. But yeah, took a CPR. It seems like a wise thing to know, especially for me. I think sitting around playing Magic all day is probably a high risk of heart attack occupation, actually. But definitely a good thing to know if you get a chance. You never know when. Wow, this Molten Impact's paying off. You never know when it could come in handy. I mean, it's one of those things. It's kind of like in Magic where, oh, I'm so dead. All right. Yep. Those are pain lands. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't work. It's one of those things like they often say in a game of Commander, like the best removal spell is the one that ends the game in your hand because you never had to use it. I think knowing CPR is like that. Like, it's a good thing to know. Ideally, you'll never have to use it, but just like a removal spell, if you do need to use it, it could literally end up saving your life. Just even more serious, obviously, because we're talking real world here. Like, if you die in a game of Magic, whatever, you play another one. But it's one of those things where I think it's worth knowing just because there is a chance that you could end up doing some real good with that and like really having a huge impact on someone's life. CPR, it's basically, yeah, it's like a removal spell. Same thing. You hope you never have to use it, but if you do have to use it, you want to know how, because it's going to be very important. Do we want to change anything? So opponent's playing Dash. What is our opponent's deck? So weird. All right, run it back. I think the Analogy probably works better as a protection spell. Yeah, maybe it does. Having it be a removal spell, I guess, is kind of weird because CPR is like the opposite of removal. You're actually saving someone more than removing something. But close enough. Yeah, where else do you find the good old Magic to CPR comparison? Chill with the Fatal Pushes opponent. Oh, they're gonna Thought Seize us. All right, no Thought Seizing. Actually, if they Thought Seize, they might take the Stone Rain out of fear. People do not like getting their. Oh, okay. Well, they're taking the Stone Rain now, I think. Yeah. About it. Come on, not another one. Not another one. Really? Pithing Needle? That's not fair. Pithing Needle on the One Ring. I mean, technically, Acidic Slime's an answer if we ever can get it down, which I don't know if we ever will, but losing that Mana Dork really hurts. That's the downside of Mana Dork decks. If your Mana Dorks die, it's pretty bad. Opponent untap land down to 16 and passes. That's even more One Rings that we are unable to cast. About it. Cycles Unearth to draw a card. Top 10 real life comparisons of Magic. I mean, if you really think about it, everything is actually just a game of Magic. If Magic really compares to everything, how did it come up on Twitter the other day? Oh, do we even play this? It's so much better if we. I wish we had one more land. We could be doing all kinds of sweet things. Should we have one more land? Opponent. Opponent's trying to get to Death Shadow, but they are not very good at losing life this game. They're working on it. What are your thoughts on the Crucius nerf? Pithing Needle is shutting down the One Ring. So Crucius 1 billion% had to be nerfed. It should have been nerfed 6 months ago. Like, it was getting over the top egregious. Like, it was becoming very obvious that Wizards was derelict in their duties of maintaining the format with that one. So very happy that they nerfed it. I don't know. All right, that's Shadow. I don't know if... I don't know how this is going to go wrong, but we're going to try it. Molten Impact. They only have 1 Pain Land, so they can't... Well, why would they run this out knowing we had a Molten Impact? Because they had Thoughtseize and saw it. Okay. Sure. I guess our opponent just didn't want that Death Shadow. Oh, they have Reanimation. Orzhov Charm. Oh, the 3-land life is not a great one. Not a great life. Opponent grows the Death Shadow. Oh, plays another Death Shadow. Grows the Death Shadow. Plays a Liliana.
Enough with the mysteries. You won't be outsmarting.
Boy, I think we win this game easily. Should we? Boy. Yeah, I think this is one of those games that we would have won easily had we drawn 1 more land. We have done nothing for so many turns. Well, I guess that's fitting that our land destruction deck is the deck that does not get to play Magic because we have not enough mana. About it. So why Magic? And do you play any other card games? Personally, I love card games. So I played Magic for a long time. I fell in love with Magic 15 years ago now. Jeez, that was a rough one. We can't go out like that. All right, one more land destruction, then we're gonna I guess we can switch. Whatever. We got some good land destruction kills. As far as I'm concerned, I think Magic is the best card game. It's funny. So when I started playing Magic, I didn't grow up in a typical nerd culture. So for me, Magic, all the flavor of it, the demons and dragons and the fantasy stuff, that was not really the appeal to me. If anything, I was like, what's this goofy game with all the elves and stuff? Because I just that wasn't how I grew up. I wasn't into comic books and fantasy stuff. So that was the part that was weird to me. But once I started playing Magic, the game is just really, really good. For me, it was poker, but in a lot of ways better is what really drew me into it. The strategic depth of the game is just really, really solid. So for me, that's what drew me into Magic. As far as other card games, I never got into Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon, any of the other similar games. I played some digital ones like Hearthstone a little bit. Actual card games like poker and things like that I've played, but Magic for me is the big one. I've never played Netrunner. Yeah, I think the way I got into it is definitely the opposite. I think a lot of people fell in love with fantasy and that led them to Magic. I fell in love with Magic and then that got me more into the fantasy aspect of stuff. So I think it really is the strange reverse path into the game. Do you think Lightning Helix could be reprinted in Standard, or do you think it's too strong for the format? I think it would be fine. It's good. Speaking of Lightning Helix, I think people wanted to see Domain Zoo, so maybe we'll try some Lightning Helixing. Try the Domain deck. Will we ever brew for poker? Yeah, poker seems hard to brew for. How do you brew for poker? I think Lightning Helix would be about as strong as Wizards would make a burn spell in Standard, but I think Standard would be okay with it. I mean, so it's Lightning Strike that gains you 3 life. Lightning Strike is not at all overpowered in Standard. I'm actually surprised we don't see more reprints like this. I would like to see more reprints into Standard. Okay, so the Domain deck. The Domain deck, this is going to be... Oh, I forgot to mention, Crucius. People asked about Crucius. Yeah, there's... So here's what they got to do. In Wizards, they won't do it, unfortunately. They've kind of made it relatively clear that they're not going to do it as far as nerfs. But here's the system I want for nerfs. So Crucius got nerfed today. I don't even know if I have Do I have a Crucius in my collection? I have exactly one. I don't know why. So Crucius got nerfed today. It became a 3-1 rather than a 3-3. The big issue with nerfs that has always gone on ever since Arena started is there's no refund. So you spend your wild cards, you get the Crucius. Crucius becomes much less playable because of a nerf. You don't get anything for that. The solution's so easy. Here's how it should work. Here's how it should work. All they need to do is give you the option, if they nerf a card, to trade it in for a wild card of the same type. That's essentially what Hearthstone does. Hearthstone, so Wizards doesn't have to just give people free cards. So you buy Crucius with your wild cards. Wizards nerfs Crucius. You can either keep your Crucius and play it anyway with the new nerf version. If you choose to do that, that's awesome, nothing happens. But you would also have the choice, if you are like, well, Crucius isn't good enough anymore, you can trade in your Cruciuses. They'll no longer be in your collection, so if you do decide you want Crucius again, you're gonna have to spend your wild cards on them again, and get a wild card of the proper rarity. Get a mythic wild card, to trade in a place at 4 mythic wild cards. That's how the system should work. Like, that's how it should work. That would solve all the problems, and I really think that not having that system in place is actually hurting the game, because I feel like here's how I see this whole thing with the nerfs and buffs in Historic. I believe that Wizards intended to nerf and buff aggressively when they launched Alchemy, and I think if you're going to do Alchemy in digital first formats, you should nerf and buff aggressively. There's no point in having these formats if you aren't going to nerf and buff aggressively. So I think that was Wizards' intention. Their plan is going to nerf and buff aggressively. They start nerfing and buffing. Players get mad because they're spending wild cards and they're losing them when a card gets nerfed. In Wizards' decision was not to refund the wild cards, but to just stop nerfing stuff. So that now the metagame suffers because Crucius, it takes 9 months or something absurd to actually get rebalanced rather than a month or 2 or 3, which it should have been, because Wizards is really hesitant because they know people get upset. I feel like the metagame's actually suffering because of this system that we have now with no way to trade in your cards if they get rebalanced. So hopefully that's on Wizards' to-do list for the future. I think that would really be helpful for the community. I think it would generate a lot of goodwill, and I don't think it would really even cost them money, because you're buying the card anyway, right? Like, and if you would want the wild card refund, you'd have to give up that card. So you're giving up a mythic to get a mythic. So I don't even think it's like actually costing them much or anything other than like building that functionality into Arena. So we'll see. I hope they get to that point eventually. So this deck, Domain Zoo. I'm excited for this deck. I don't know how good this deck is. We're gonna see. So what is the plan of this deck? So we're a domain deck, which means we really want all the land types, which is why we got all these triomes and shock lands. Why are we playing a domain deck? Well, answer number 1. We got big 2-drops. Territorial Kavu with all the land types, 2 mana 5/5. Nishoba Brawler, a 5/3 trample if we have all the land types. Rod of Firebrand can pump itself based on the land types. Llanowar Green Widow comes back from the graveyard on the cheap if we have the land types. Gaia's Might pumps anything up to +5/+5 if we have all the land types. Wild Mikado, one of the new additions from the Anthology, 1 mana 3/3 if we have the land types. So we're trying to get all the land types because it grows all of our stuff. The big new payoff, though, is Tribal Flames, one of the best burn spells that's ever been printed. If we have all the land types, 2 mana 5 damage to any target. So how we really want to win the game is get in a couple Wild Mikado hits, get in a couple Kavu hits, whatever, and then like Tribal Flames you for 5, Snapcaster, Tribal Flames you for 5, game over on the spot. So I think this deck actually can be really powerful. The problem with the deck, this is like Domain on hard mode. Ario SW, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super chat for you. Thank you. I'm missing my Monday night uploads. Oh, don't worry, Ario. The Monday night uploads are still a thing. This one, last week I was doing spoilers, so I didn't get the video done. And then the week before, the video just went up on Sunday instead of Monday, the hated card video, just because Sunday's a day when everyone's around doing nothing. So I think it actually is just a better day to publish a video. But Monday videos are still a thing. They'll be back starting next week. Outside, whenever there's spoiler season, Monday videos sometimes get missed, but otherwise they'll be back. So So that's a plan for the deck. The challenge of the deck is we're playing on Arena, so there's no fetch lands. So we're just trying to brute force, like play a bunch of tri lands, play a bunch of shock lands, have a lot of land types. The mana is going to be risky though. When the mana works, I think the deck will be really powerful. But I also think there's going to be games where the mana just straight up betrays us and we can't cast our spells. Yeah, Landline Binding's really, really strong for sure. Yeah, there's no fetch lands on Arena that can fetch dual lands. Do we know when Wizards is publishing the full card gallery for Commander Masters? My guess is Friday. They didn't ever officially announce it. What we do know is, so yesterday, today, in the next 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, they're going to be doing the Commander precons. Wow, is this all of our land types? No blue, but that's actually fine. So precons until Thursday, and then I assume that we'll get the full set dump on Friday. Although I think it's just commons and uncommons. I'm pretty sure now that they revealed the battle bond lands, I think all the rares and mythics have been officially previewed. Oh, did they announce it? Oh, they said Friday. Okay, that I figured it was based on what they had published, but yeah, I didn't actually hear that. So officially it's Friday. Did they nerf anything else? Hey, what's up, Cordius? Good to see you. Good to see you. They just nerfed Crucius, and then they banned Fable and Alchemy, which I don't know why they hadn't done that already. Honestly, it's kind of hilarious that it was legal for some reason. Vince has been on the warpath the last week or two. It's kind of funny to see actually, but yeah, Vince. I'm sure Vince has a lot to say about today's announcements. But yeah, Vince, he does like going at Commander Masters, that's for sure, and rightly so. Like there is a lot to criticize in the set, so I'm glad that he is letting his voice be heard. Vince just goes, when he goes at it, he goes at it. Like Vince goes hard. Oh, come on, this thing again. Speaking of being rebalanced, about it. Can you say the word unfathomable? I think so. I think I can. All right. Well, I guess we got to kill this thing. This never-ending stream of card advantage from the graveyard. Why do they have a treasure map? Why a treasure map? And why don't we have any creatures? Well, I mean, I guess they're just playing super removal heavy Jund. I think we're lucky that I think this card's actually like one of the strongest cards in the format. Wait, do you think it's bad? Bad as in like good, or bad as in literally bad? As far as I can tell, I rank this like just a bit behind Crucius in terms of super busted alchemy cards that are legal in the format. Geowuldred. Well, unfortunately, wait, we have all of our land types, right? White, red, blue, green, black. All right. Well, get rid of the Shieldred. I do wish we would draw a creature. We've spent a lot of points of burn throwing them at our opponent's creatures because we have no threats. He does need good 1-mana spells, though. Yeah, I mean, that's true. I guess. So, I think compared to Crucius, there's more of a cost. Crucius you can play in basically any deck. Oh, no. Crucius you can play in basically any deck, and it's going to be really, really strong. Yeah, this is unfortunate. And Minsk and Boo goes up to 4. Yeah, we're getting Junded out. We never beat Jund, apparently. No matter what, we always just lose to Jund. Put a counter on a creature, fights a creature you don't control. Well, I guess we just pass and hope our opponent doesn't have more removal. If they have more removal, we're probably just definitely dead to Minsk and Boo. Well, Nikadal sighting. That's our first Nikadal. Molten Impact. Well, that's not how we want to use Gaia's Might, but Gaia's Might. Make it an 8/8. And if we trade with the hamster, it just comes back anyway. Minskaboo is really... Sure. Sure. That's fine. That's fine. Opponent goes attacking. Well, I mean... Yeah, I guess we block. Oh, boy. All right, Tribal Flames or Snapcaster. This treasure map's going to flip, though. That's going to start drawing cards. We got to get this Minskaboo off the table, or we are dead. We're definitely dead if we can't get... Or probably dead anyway because of the treasure map flipping, but... If we can't get rid of this Minskaboo... Oh, Shieldred number 2. Oh, no. There's just too many... There's too many threats. There's too many... You know what? I wonder, do you think we played this wrong? Should we have just been ignoring all of our opponent's stuff and just throwing everything at our opponent's face? With how this played out, I think if we had just... Well, I guess you gotta kill Shieldred, though, right? Or it's gonna gain too much life. We probably gotta kill Cheracell. Yeah, I guess maybe it wouldn't have worked. We have thrown in a lethal amount of burn at our opponent's creatures. Yeah, we're in, like, the blackest meta that we've been in a while. I was just looking. I haven't really played... Have any of you been playing Standard since the Lord of the Rings that came out? I haven't really played Standard since Lord of the Rings came out, but I was looking at the meta, and we're back to black. Like, it's almost amazing to me. We're at 3, so we can go up. We can gain a little life. There's no way we can. I don't think there's any way we can get out of this. Well, pass the turn. We need some sort of miracle here. Opponent gonna draw with treasure map. Just too much stun value. Opponent just got the most rawest powerful cards in the format. All right, up to 20. But we've had so many bannings focused on black decks in Standard. Really? Really? So now, I guess we just Helix your face? We were hoping our opponent would attack with Shieldred and we could block with Snapcaster and then Helix, but... Oh, God. All right, now we're definitely dead. But we've had so many bannings focused on black decks in Standard, and there's still, like, look at the meta now. Mono black midrange, up to the top of the meta. Deck number 2, Esper. I don't know if it's fair to call that a black deck, but it is a deck that has black in it. Dimir midrange is basically a black deck. Like, it's basically mono black splashing a handful of counter spells. So we're back to a point where the top tier of the meta is very, very black heavy, and this is after... Yeah, Bowmasters is very good too. This is after a year ago Meathook was banned, and then we have the Invoke Despair banning, the Reckoner Bankbuster banning. Like, could you imagine how strong black would be if there hadn't been any bannings? Yeah, the Nahiri deck I think is a sleeper. The Nahiri deck worked way, way better than... We don't have very good Shieldred removal, do we? I guess Dramoka Command is our best Shieldred removal, really. That did not go well. We just got picked apart. The best red card was banned. That's true, although the best red card was kind of a black card. It was most commonly played in very black-heavy decks. Well, we got creatures this time. All right, go Wild Nikadal. Show them the power of the cat. I guess we got to play a land first, don't we? All right. Well, our mana's sketchy, but we do have a 1 mana 2/2. Look out, Jund. Can you beat it? Boom, Temple Garden. Make it a 3-3. Down to 17. Nikado doing Nikado things. Opponent. Land. And... Null in impact. Well, okay. Llanowar Green Widow. Go. Is there a reason that standard burn was removed from the game? You mean like why Lightning Bolt doesn't show up in standard or whatever? I think that's mostly just part of spells being powered down in general. Hey, what's up, Mega Magikarp? How is... Oh, wait. How much damage can we deal here? Gaia's Might is a scary pump spell. So if we could shock ourselves. White, red, green, blue. It's +4/+4. We could hit our opponent for a lot, but not quite lethal. Is it worth it? So we play this, untap land, Snapcaster, play this, hit you for 12? Yeah, I think we wait. Let's get in with a Green Widow. Get a Jagatha. No. Oh! Arena. And move the cards. Oh, that's actually really bad for us. That's actually really bad for us. Okay, so what was supposed to be happening there is the Triumph was coming into play, but the Jagatha going into hand moved it over. Hey, what's up, Hebrew Hammer? How are you? Let's slow things down. Opponent. Really, opponent? So how much does this cost? Can I do this at instant speed? Return to the battlefield from return it from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. If it dies, exile it. Costs 1. Oh, I can do it at instant speed. All right, so it's playing the Coddle. We're trying to set up the one-shot kill here. We're actually not that far away from it. We haven't drawn any burn spells, but this Gaia's Might. Opponent. Scries. We might be able to one-shot kill. Yeah, we wanted to play that Triumph like 2 turns ago, but... Currently figuring out college stuff. I had a really bad home life when I went in 2016. Had a GPA of 1.6. Currently... Okay. I don't even know if we get back the Green Widow at this point, since our opponent has a 1 ring. Yeah, our deck does not have the 1 ring, which maybe that means it's not playable. Alright, play the tap land. No reason to attack, because there's a 1 ring. Pass the turd. Next turn! Next turd's the turd. Currently looking to retake a class that is dragging my GPA down. Seems like a good plan. Get the old low grade off there. Get the GPA up a bit. Does Fable... Okay, I think we can win through this. We're gonna see the power of Snapcaster Mage here. So we get the Green Widow. Actually, it's the power of Gaia's Might, really. Get back Green Widow. Oh no. They draw 2, so they go to 14. Oh, so we... the 1 ring. Oh. Do we have to run out of Snapcaster? So opponent's going to go to 14. If we run out Snapcaster, we attack. Our opponent blocks here. 5. No, I guess, yeah, that's probably our best plan. All right, run out of Snapcaster. Ambush Viper style. Hey, Seth, I love your content. There is one thing I'm wondering. Are you not interested in high-tier decks once in a while, or do you think your viewers aren't? I think my viewers aren't. That's my guess. My guess is... I mean, we have lethal here, right? So we go to combat, swing with everything. Gaia's Might, Snapcaster, Gaia's Might. Opponent. Doesn't matter. Oh, going after the cat. Okay, now you're definitely dying. Wild Nikados are 1 new card. Gaia's Might. Pump it. Snapcaster. Gaia's Might. Pump it. the best Green Widow of all time, and that is a Dead Children player. I'm curious. What do you all think? Like, so I feel like we don't play tip-top tier decks hardly at all. We do play occasionally like real-ish decks. We often play, so when I'm thinking about content, if I'm not actually building the deck myself, and I don't build every deck I play. Like Much Brew, we play decks on the stream, we play other people's decks. Normally for me, if something's like on the top of the metagame page, unless something changes and there's like an exciting new card added to it or something, we're kind of unlikely to play it. On the other hand, I am pretty religious about going through like Moto deck lists. They do like the league dumps. So I'm definitely going through, we haven't had a new Modern League. I think that's tomorrow. But I'm definitely going through the leagues and just looking like, is anyone doing anything different? Is anyone playing things I haven't seen before? And when I see something, then we tend to play it. So I don't know how you count those decks. Like, they're real enough that someone else played them to some amount of success, but definitely not top tier decks. I have considered just like, one way I think there would be value to playing top tier decks is just making it a series for the sake of viewers, basically. I think there would be value, and there's probably already someone else who does this, and I just haven't looked, but I think there would be value in like having a playlist with every deck in Modern. Like if you were someone that was just coming into Modern and you were wondering what deck you wanted to play, you could go to that playlist and you could see a league with Omnath, see a league with Rakdos, see a league with Murktide. I wouldn't be interested in like playing those decks again and again or regularly, but I do think that could actually be interesting. Just to have a video of each deck in case people want to see them. There's also decks that we play that end up becoming tier. Those are some of my favorite. Is we take and play Hammer Time when it first comes out, and then a year later it becomes the best deck in Modern. Or we definitely played Yawgmoth right after people first started playing Yawgmoth, and now Yawgmoth's a tier deck, and I'm not super interested in playing it again because we play against it all the time, but it was an exciting new deck at one point. So one idea I like for a series is like Brews versus the Gauntlet. It would have to be two people, and I don't know who to do it with, but I think it would be interesting to have. One player play like the top 5 decks in the metagame. And you could change it each week or whatever based on what's at the top of the meta. But have one player play the top 5 decks in the metagame, and the other player in the series essentially just brew a deck with the goal being to beat as many of those decks as possible. So you'd still get the brew, but the brew would be like, and then you wouldn't have the duplication, you wouldn't play the same matchup every time. I think that could actually be a really cool series that I haven't noticed anyone else do yet. Hey, a 99% drafter here. Might be interested to have a tier 1 deck series to get a sense of what's going on. Hey, well, I will keep that in mind, Thor. His hand does look pretty good. We'll see how much of it we can resolve, but what are we playing first? I mean, Kavu's the better of the two. I feel like whatever we play is going to die. Let's just play the Trio. Yeah, this is one of the best hands we've had so far. Yeah, let's just try on Brawler. Go. Show us the Fatal Push, opponent. Show us the Fatal Push. If our opponent's going to use removal, we would rather have it happen when we only have one creature, so this Molten Impact doesn't do anything. Opponent. I mean, we have a Shield Dancer, which is good. We got the beats. Xander's Lounge. Well, we might actually cycle that. Let's play an untap land. Go to combat. Hit you for 5. Opponent takes the beats to 15. Territorial Kavu. Casual 5/5. Come on. No removal, no removal, no removal. JNJ, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super chat for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do you know what the deck with day 9? Pretty fun to see viewer decks. Okay. Oh boy, that's not ideal. Not ideal. Are we gonna lose our Kavu? Oh, they might have Jericel? Well, we'll see. I do know What the Deck. What the Deck is a really cool series. It's fun to see viewer decks battling each other. You see combos you don't often see. Oh. Alright. Opponent found a way. Found a way. Well, Territorial Kavu. Wild Nicodle. And, well, I guess we gotta play one more land. Play the Lounge. Alright, opponent. Enough with the removal. Enough with the removal. A reminder, if you need any of the cards we play today, you can get it from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/MTGGoldfish. One ring. I mean, I guess we have to answer that. Hey, what's up, Greedy Pot? Did I create Goldfish? No, actually, so Richard, who, if you ever see like or listen to the MTG Goldfish podcast, Richard is a part of the podcast. All right. Possibly should have put Jagath in hand and just looted it away. Richard is actually the person who started Goldfish. I came on about a year after he started it. Well, using a Tribal Flames on a Glissa is annoying, but I think it's what we gotta do. Kill the Glissa, go to combat, attack, loot. No, not more removal. Heartless Act, okay. Well, discard the land. Draw an even worse land. Oh, play the even worse land past the turn. About it. Glory Brigger. Attacks exerts. Down to 12. We draw even more lands. Well, now we're just kind of flooding out, which is unfortunate. Oh, so many lands. Unlicensed. That is good against our Snapcaster. No. Oh, no. Well, that is a good hand. Land number 79. We will cycle. Oh, dear. This is... Oh, my goodness. Oh, jeez. The lowest of lower roll. How many lands have we drawn? That's a lot in a row at a very unfortunate time. Did you talk about how uncomfortable the energy of the Q&A was today? He was like, when did we say it was premium? So I, thankfully, or actually, all right, well, opponent's drawn some solid gas, that's for sure. I mean, can we get one more land to finish it off? Dramoka's Command on the empty board. I missed most of the stream. I caught a little bit at the end. I think the energy was definitely the part that I saw, and I didn't get to see the worst of it, was pretty awkward. And I've definitely seen a lot of comments about it. It's been a pretty big topic. Like right now, the top post on the main Magic Reddit is about WotC saying that it's not a premium product. The Commander decks, which so this is one of those things where I like Blake, who does the streams. I think this is a don't shoot the messenger. I actually feel very bad for Blake. I feel like WotC's messaging is really, really bad. To the point where, like, I wonder who is even, like, thinking about these things, making the decisions. Like, who is coming up with the Commander Precons aren't canon thing? Who's coming up with these $80 decks are not premium product thing? Like, shouldn't people be thinking this stuff through before they say them? It's like, it's kind of mind-blowing. Hey, what's up, MTG Homero? How are you? So WotC had their weekly stream today, and their weekly stream was to show off Commander Precons. We really need a red source. See, this is what I'm saying about the inconsistency of the mana. Just thanks to, well, that is a red source. Just thanks to the fact there's no fetch lands. I honestly think they should add fetch lands to Arena. But yeah, we'll look at this after this game. I want to see what your opinions are on these things. So let's start with the easy one. Opponent, Skyclave Apparition. Well, play a land. Gidgen Goth, I guess. Opponent. So our opponent's either combo or angels, presumably. I wonder, maybe this deck wants more creatures. I don't know. Or maybe we're just like running awkwardly, drawing all the removal and none of the other stuff. Oh, goodness. Goodness gracious. Bishop of Hope into Giada, gain some life, go attacking. Well, Leyline Binding. Get rid of the bishop. Breeding Pool tapped and do kind of nothing. Leon Stew, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super chat for you. Thank you. Fetch lands will break every single format they are legal in if they're added to Arena. In what sense, though? Like, I would argue that, like, Modern and Legacy are Magic's greatest formats, and they're fetch land formats. What would make the formats? What would make the formats break if we added fetch lands to Arena? Like, do you just dislike the consistency they would add? Like, oh, and the Coco too. Yeah, this can't be good. And there's a Giada. This is bad. Wow! Okay. Well, we are not allowed to complain about luck for the rest of the stream. Opponent with the no roll with Coco. Well, I guess we Leyline Binding the Giada. You don't see that very often. You see people only hit one. You do not see the hard whiff with Coco almost ever. Like, that's just not a thing that happens. So we have all 5 card types. Let's go to combat. Go attacking. Please don't settle the wreckages. We will loot. We're going to discard Jagoth, I think we don't really want. Into a Triome. Opponent. Down to 15. I mean, there's actually a world in which we just win next turn. Wow, now there's definitely a world in which we win next turn. All right. Come on, not another one. Oh! 2 Coco. Well, there's a world where our opponent wins this turn. 2 Cocos. Wait, so what is the overall feeling in chat about fetches on Arena? Do we not want fetches on Arena? It can't happen twice. There's no way. Math will not allow it. Math will not allow it. Wait, okay, just give me your vote, chat. Up or down, fetches on Arena. Righteous Valkyrie, Haywire Might. Oh. And the Haywire Might. I don't know why this card to me shows Wizards ridiculous rebalancings to me this screams Wizards has no idea what they're trying to do with the digital only formats more than any other card. I will explain why in a minute. Fetch lands, no fetch lands. Give me them, please. Net positive. Historic would just become 4/5 other color. Good stuff, nothing else. I'd be okay with them. No, I love fetches. Historic is probably fine. Would be fine in Brawl. Probably not good for Historic. Up to, wow. So it's actually, I would say, more ups than downs but relatively mixed. Well, we dropped to 5. Opponent passes. We draw Leyline Binding. I mean, in theory, we got to go for it. Like, what else can we do? So we go to combat. We attack with the Kavu. We loot. We discard a Tribal Flame. We draw a Brawler. Oh, opponent's gonna block. For all the text on that, none of it actually says trample. Jeez. Triple Coco head. Okay, yeah, I mean, all right. I mean, that's, if you draw 3 Cocos in exactly 4 lands, you can afford to whiff on one and you're not going to lose. Like, that's, you're never losing with triple Coco hand. Never, ever, ever. Hey Seth, I want to share my Yumori companion deck in Commander with Muldrotha all creatures, but most creatures have an additional type. Ooh, let me see redeemed. So, Haywire Might is the card that makes me believe Wizards does not have any planner focus for digital only formats. Ooh. Madrotha, I think that's a really cool idea. I haven't seen this idea before. So Madrotha lets you cast a permanent from each type. Counterintuitive with Yumori, which makes you play all one type, but you can play artifact creatures. You can play enchantment creatures. So that's a really neat idea that I haven't really seen before. Trying to be all one type, but also have as many different types as possible. Yeah, I wonder, how fun is the deck to play? There's one of those decks where the theory of the deck, I think, is really cool. I like the theory of it a lot. How much fun, how enjoyable is it? Does it actually play pretty well? Fetch lands make the game more interesting. I mean, fetch lands would make a deck like this actually at least like somewhat competitive. I mean, as far as being competitive, I think Yumori will never, I probably shouldn't say never. Very, 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 very rarely is Yumori actually the most optimal way to play a build. But Commander is not about necessarily building the most optimal builds possible. Honestly, Commander is, I would say, at its best when you aren't trying to build the most optimal builds possible. I think that actually ends up making Commander less fun when you're too focused on optimization. Well, we'll play a land. We will get in with the wildest of Naganols. Territorial Kavu, only a 3/3 at the moment. We could use another land type. Opponent, gonna do a little countering out of their Selesnya deck. Plays land, and yeah, we could use a Triumph to. Okay, Skyclave Apparition hits our Nagadal. Boo and Hiss. Well, okay, let's try this again. If they play a Coco here, I will become a Shuffler Truther. On the spot. Hey, what's up, folks? Scrub. We're trying to make domain work with no fetch lands, which is proving to be inconsistent. So yeah, here's the guy. I'm glad it popped up. Do you have any idea, chat, why this card was rebalanced? It actually, like, it blows my mind. Haywire Might is arguably a modern staple. It's at a minimum, it's very modern playable. So it's not a card that's not too, like, suffering in any way. It sees a ton of play across formats. Why would a card that is, so for some reason it was a 1/1, they made it a 1/2, and it gains you 2 life, and they made it so you gain 3 life. Yeah, they did. I don't understand why they did. Like, because Haywire Might was a card that was seeing a lot of play before. Here's the original. It's a 1-mana 1/1. Then when it dies, you gain 2 life. Now it's on Arena. It's a 1-mana 1/2. Then when it dies, you gain 3 life. So confusing. So confusing. Well, get in. Attack. We will loot. Discard a brawler, I guess? Not a land. Opponent blocks. And blocks. That extra toughness about to pay off. Okay. We could just put a counter on it. Or we let it die. They gotta have Cocos in hand. There's the only way anything our opponent's doing makes sense if they have a handful of Cocos. Alright, we'll kill this Skyclave, I guess. Opponent gets to keep the Might. We get a 1/1. We'll play another Kavu. Pass the turn. Opponent. Another reprieve. Behold, Seth, the jank that is my 4-color Aragon. Well, here comes the Cocos. My 4-color Aragon list with a couple of themes. Boy, we cannot hit a land to save our lives. Territorial Kavu. Opponent. Alright, let's see how dead we are past the turn. Collecting Company number 4. Righteous Valkyrie, Resplendent Angel. Those are hits. Come on, Coco, opponent. Show us Coco. Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling less bad for opponent whiffing on Coco. It looks like they are playing a deck that is probably going to whiff on Coco relatively frequently. Shuffler is red. Okay, I've become a shuffler truther. How is it possible? How is it possible to have 5 Cocos in that amount of cards? It's not. Oh God. Well, I guess we were just not destined to have a shot in this match. There's the Triome. Way too late. Opponent's going to take the 3. Well, we'll play the Triome. Show us them land types. We'll play the Wild Nicodle. And I guess we just pass. Come on, Coco. Coco 6. Coco 6. Let's see Coco 6. Opponent goes to combat. Opponent attacks. Sure. We'll take it. Down to 7. Well, let's... Dramoka's Command. Counter and fight. Wow. I don't know if our opponents ever read Coco. That is the most non-creature spells I have ever seen a Coco. Are they playing like 10 creatures in their Coco deck? How is that possible? Behold that the Jake that is my 4-color Aragon list. So let me see, Tuca buddy. So we're just dead, right? That's the TLDR here is death. I don't go to combat. Get him with the Nicodles. The random extra toughness on these Haywire Mites is actually kind of awkwardly paying off for our opponent. Like it's doing some serious work. Hit our opponent. Play a land of War Green Widow. Pass the turn. I mean, we can Leyline Binding to try to get rid of a Righteous Valkyrie, but the Haywire Mite just takes it down, and our opponent gains 3 life for some reason. about it. Reading the Green Widow. Coco control. It really is, isn't it? Opponents draw more spells than creatures in their Coco deck. About it. Skyclave Apparition. Going after the Green Widow. There's no way we can actually close this out, right? Opponent goes attacking. Well, Leyline Binding Resplendent Angel. But that just turns on these Haywire Mites. So it doesn't actually do anything beneficial. Angels is probably a... I mean, Angels when we run well is probably a really bad matchup, but Angels seems very tough. We started off playing Land Destruction. That was the first deck we played. Not enough flash-ins and speed cards in green-white, so you gotta run Coco. Coco, though, really, if you're not playing 30 creatures, Coco's bad. You gotta be playing, I think, the minimum. If you actually math it out, maybe you can argue that 26 creatures. And at 26, it's gonna be, you're getting sketchy. 26 is like the lowest, like, somewhat realistic number that you could play. Like, get a Resplendent Angel. We go to 5, but this just puts us dead on board anyway. Angels! Yeah, that was the weirdest match. Yeah, I mean, if you actually pull up a hypergeometric calculator, you can see the numbers. Like, Coco's very easy to calculate. So if you're playing a 60 card deck, so you're playing a constructed format, if you're playing 30 creatures, your odds of hitting 2 is 90%. So even with 30 creatures, that would be, your deck is all creatures, a playset of Coco, a playset of 1 utility spell and 22 lands. That might not even be possible in some decks. Like, that's really, really pushing it. You can see how the numbers change. If you go down to 28 creatures, you go down to 86%. Once you get down to 26 creatures, you're down to 82%. That's where, like, one out of every 5 Cocos you cast is not going to hit you 2 creatures. You're still going to get 1 creature a reasonable amount of the time. The thing is, Coco's not a good card if you get 1 creature. Like, paying 4 mana to get 1 3 or less mana value creature is not very good. As the numbers continue to decline, it becomes sketchier and sketchier. Once you're down to like 24, you're getting to the point where no one really does it. At 22, you're just kind of in the, I don't know, maybe people are too scared. Maybe we should be running more 20 creature Coco decks. Like, what do you think about the idea of, like, maybe you should be playing Coco control? Your, like, Cocos are gonna whiff 1/3 of the time, but you get to play a lot of other spells, so maybe it's worth it. I think the thing this doesn't take into consideration is you also are going to get less selection with your Cocos. I think part of the power of Coco is you're often able to hit a creature you really need. Like, you need a removal and you hit the Skyclave Apparition. You need a life gain and you hit the Righteous Valkyrie or whatever. The less creatures you play, as these numbers drop, your odds of hitting 3 creatures, 4 creatures, and getting to choose between those creatures drops a lot as well. Interesting. Yeah, maybe we gotta try the greediest Coco deck. One number is the 50% hit rate. Is it like 15? Would that make sense? 16. So if you play 16 creatures, you'll hit 2 or more creatures half the time. Just over 51%. Now I kind of want to build a 16 creature Coco deck and just go for it. Think of all the room you'd have for other things. Think of all the room. You'd have so much room. Hey, what's up, Great Destroyer? How are you? Someone was looking for the Coco deck list. Or, no, the Ponza deck list. Let's see. Oh, we added Karns to it, but it's this, but we added Karns, basically. Why you can play Panharmonicon. I do love Panharmonicon. One of the best things about recent Magic is that there's been better Panher. Like, we have Elish Norn now and Yarok, so we actually have better Panharmonicons now. The One Ring, as someone who loves Panharmonicon, the One Ring makes me so jealous. Like, you know how you make a format artifact that doesn't do anything right away work? Have it give you protection from everything. You know how you make Panharmonicon into an actual card? Is you give it that same trigger. Like, if Panharmonicon was the same exact text, but when it ETBs you gain protection from everything for a turn, it would suddenly go from, like, janky against the odds card that we love and try in every deck, but never really got to be very competitive because it's just so hard to take that turn off, into, like, a really, like, legit card. I wonder if we'll see, well, that's a lot of lands. I wonder if we'll see more of that. That's a lot of lands. Wow, we have so many lands. All right, tap land go. How do we feel about the ring being in 25% of modern decks? I mean, I think the only question is how soon do they do something about it? We know the August ban window is, oh god. We know the domain deck has been really bad. We know that the August ban window is coming up. I wonder if Wizards will take action on it that quickly. It's hard for me to envision a world where they don't have to take action on it eventually. Sure. That's fine. That's just Devorin Klex. No big deal. Yeah. Oh my goodness, so many lands. I mean, I guess technically we can double Lightning Helix Vorinclex. I don't know how this possibly leads to us winning this game, but whew. Opponent. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen anyone just stick their email address right out there. Yeah, the tricky part about the deck is, like, maybe it just can't work without fetch lands. Maybe that's the TLDR. Maybe it just literally, if you don't have fetch lands, you can't play domain. This deck, to me, would be an argument for adding fetch lands. It would be sweet to have domain be a thing. Like, you can play domain control. Like Niv, where you're just like, you play all the triomes and you're just trying to, like, cast removal spells, and eventually, well, this hand has the opposite problem. We will never, oh no. Come on, deck. How about a middle ground hand deck? It doesn't have to either be 8 lands or 1 land. Somewhere in between would be fine, Magic Gods. We would accept somewhere in between. Land cycles can pull tri-lands out, but slower. Yeah. I don't know if land cyclers... I mean... could try land cyclers, I guess. The problem is, like, the deck really wants to be aggro. It wants to be an aggro deck. All of our cards are aggro cards. Our deck's not gonna do well if it's not being aggressive. So, I don't know if, like, then I think you're back to the, like, building a Niv control style deck. Ugh, boy, so clunky. Pass the dirt. Ooh, Forsaken Monument. Well, play a Triome. Yeah, it's hard to control what lands you have. Like, we don't have any white mana, so we can deal with this Forsaken Monument, which I don't know why our opponent's playing, since they're playing all forest. Is a Forsaken Monument? Okay, they have a Field of Ruin and a... Alright, sure. Opponent passes. Well, play Kavu. I mean, there's plenty of aggressive decks. The mana base on Arena just doesn't really support domain aggro, I guess. That's kind of what sure. That's kind of been our experience now. I don't know, is there any way to make it work? Is it possible? Do you think that Boros Charm is too busted for Rita? That was the only charm that did not make Explorer Anthology 3. Oh, there was a bunch, right? Like, they only had 5 charms and there's 10 charms. So, I don't think it's that Boros Charm is too busted. I do wonder why they chose the charms that they did. The charms that they chose are actually pretty mediocre. Like, out of all 10 charms, so they added, so Orzhov Charm, we saw opponent try to play with Death Shadow. It's never really seen play anywhere. Izzet Charm is probably the best of the bunch. Golgari Charm, there was a time, like a decade ago, it saw some play. Gruul Charm, I guess there's a Pioneer deck that played it in their sideboard once, but I've never seen anyone play it. Simic Charm. So yeah, I don't know why there's no Boros Charm. Azorius Charm actually used to see play. I think I would rank Azorius Charm ahead of like Simic and Gruul and Orzhov. It doesn't see much play anymore, but at least I could see uses for it. So yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Nothing makes sense anymore about what goes on in Arena and doesn't. I've decided to challenge myself and build a Kalia deck for a video using only cards from Commander Masters. Ooh, that sounds like a fun challenge. That's a cool way to do a video. That'd be like a, well, I was gonna say like, oh, if you buy a box or two, you could build this deck. Although, if you're gonna buy a box or two, you might as well just build a CDH deck. At that point, you've spent CDH prices. Not actually quite that much, but close. Yeah, is there any way to make domain work? How do we make it work? So the issue is the mana is just so inconsistent. And I don't know how to solve that without fetch lands. I think part of what makes aggro domain relatively powerful in Modern is with fetch lands, you're more or less guaranteed to be able to get all, close to guaranteed, to have all 5 land types by turn 2 or turn 3. We're just praying to the magic gods, and sometimes we can cast our spells, and sometimes we can't cast our spells. And even when we can cast our spells, like, occasionally we do explosive things, but as we saw in that last game, like, our opponent just, like, played all forests and cast an Ulamog on turn 5. We're paying a high price in inconsistency, and then even when we go off for, like, trying to Snapcaster Tribal Flames or whatever, so maybe the payoff's just not worth it. I mean, I guess, so maybe there's a less 5-colory deck? Like, is there a way that we're just, like, a Gruul deck, essentially, that is somehow like getting the rest of the land types? Maybe that's the best way to do it. Ario SW handing out some gift stubs to Griffin Check and Lever Kingdom and Vulture and Bew Baggins and Wonder Numbers. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscriptions. And Ario, thank you for the gift subs. Big scoop share for you. Thank you. Play all shocks. Wouldn't that make it harder to get all the land types? So if we tried to just be 5-color like Gruul, then we lose Snapcaster, and Snapcaster's cool. Can we actually? I guess you can play the silly Jarosel card. I don't know if I want to do that though. I mostly try to avoid playing too many digital only cards. Although I guess that would be like Gruul Snapcaster essentially. Deck wants Cascade. So if you get rid of Leyline Binding, do you get rid of Snapcaster? You can get rid of Dramoka's Command, Lightning Helix. Oh, sadly. What do we replace these with? You play Bloodbraid. We can play Bloodbraid. Is there anything else like worth flashing back? What else could we flash back? At this point, go for Luris. Bloodbraid sounds sweet though. Yeah, if we're gonna play Snapcaster, we're gonna need more burn spells probably. I mean, unless we stick, maybe we stay 5 color. It would be cool if we could cast everything. I mean, I guess we're gonna need planes for Nacatl anyway. Is Snap even worth playing? I mean, being able to flashback Tribal Flames is pretty, or Gaia's Might's pretty powerful. I feel like the games where the deck has actually performed well have often involved that synergy. We could not play Snapcaster. Play Helix. Do you mind checking out my Historic Brawl and Standard decks? Ooh, let me see, Ario. What are we working with? So what's our way of getting? So just go Naya, bring Leyline Binding back in. And then I guess you just like, I don't know, max out Green Widows? No Snapcaster? Is no Snapcaster... I mean, we could try something like this. Maybe just more Firebrands. Maybe Firebrand's just better? So bring in more Firebrands. Bring in Bloodbraids. I think Herd Migration might be too slow. So this is what, 24 lands? 24 lands. I'm surprised they haven't brought any of the Hierarchs. Yeah, so the thing with 1-drops is, if we're playing all the Triomes, they get a lot worse. But maybe we can move away from... If we're trying to minimize the number of colors we're playing, maybe we can move away from playing so many Triomes. What would the next best 1-drop be? Modern Domain decks play Ragavan, but we obviously don't have Ragavan. What would our best bet be if we wanted to add one more 1-drop to be aggressive? Esper Sentinel? Like, is it just Esper Sentinel because we might draw cards at some point? Mono white aggro. Ooh. I mean, mono white looks sweet. Mono white's usually relatively solid. I think Toski is welcome. That's a card that's really impressed me when I've played. I think that looks solid, Ario. And Nahiri. Oh, where'd the deck list go? Nahiri's War Brawl. Ooh. I haven't played Nahiri in Brawl, but I played it in Standard, and it's a pretty cool card. It is definitely got some super sweet shenanigans. That's one of my favorite Standard decks I played recently. How's it been going in Historic Brawl with Nahiri? That also looks sweet. I like it, Ario. Pelt Collector. Yeah, Pelt Collector would be okay. We're quickly becoming not historic power level. That might be true. Maybe if we're doing this, then we probably got to try to play less lands, right? I don't know how many... We got the Tribal Flames. Artillery Blast doesn't do anything. Root Wall is bad. Seek a creature. This ability costs 1 less for each basic land type among lands you can... 2 mana, 3/2. Vigilance. If you have all the land types, pay 3 Seek a creature. I didn't know that card existed. That might be okay. It's kind of slow. That still might be worth it, though. I mean, we got Leyline Binding. Leyline Binding's essentially Fragment, right? I don't know how many... Between Leyline Binding, Tribal Flames, Lightning Helix, I feel like we have plenty of... plenty of removal. Maybe we just try it like this. And now for the real challenge. Seeing if we can make the mana work. So I think the plan is, so we're a Naya deck. So we add in the Naya stuff. But then we also need all the... then we also need to hit the other land types, or that doesn't matter. Thran Portal actually seems not great. It does let us fill in any missing land type. Yeah, not having any fetches is so, it makes it so tricky. So we have shock lands. We can play a couple Thran portals, and then I guess like probably filling in with triomes is like, that's got to be the most realistic way, right? Like, that's got to be the best plan. It's a little slow, but we can play. So we can play triomes that have. So I don't think we actually want Jetmir's Gardens. We can play triomes that have 2 of our colors and 1 additional color. So like this has red, green, and then we get blue. This has white, green, and then we get black. I'm guessing that's gonna be the most reasonable way, is just like play some off-color triomes. Maybe the Mana Beast is starting to look like the last version. The thing is, it's still just like, how do we control if we draw it? Like, we still might not draw it at all. Yeah, I mean, there's all land. I think there's Nylea's Presence, although I'm not sure. Oh, apparently there's... Wait, do I have this? Oh, I see. I have it filtered weird. So there is Nylea's Presence. It does give you all the land types. It just doesn't really help with... It doesn't really help with trying to be aggro. Like, that's the... I think that's the issue. I feel like a domain deck we've seen in, like, Niv. A domain deck can work. A domain deck can work, but it's very difficult to make the aggro domain deck work. The domain decks that we've seen work are very slow in plotting. Yeah, we got the Thran's portals down here. This might be as good as it gets. Add in a forest. We'll try 2 Nylea's Presences. Actually, can we go, how low on lands can we go? Can we go 20 lands? That's probably absurd with Bloodbraid. I guess if we got rid of Bloodbraid, we could. 22 lands is probably, right now we're at 20. I had some gate fetches. Yeah. Arena's just not built to let you. So there's basic fetches, but then, I mean, actually, maybe Reclaimer is the way to go. If you could, like, play Reclaimer and fetch lands, I guess that's not much faster. It's still kind of slow. It's still kind of slow. Double Strike can make it a combo kill instead of an aggro one. Desert Cycling. Maybe land cycle. Are there any land cyclers that would actually be good in the deck is the question. Oh, maybe we got to turn off this Jingatha stuff. Are there any land cyclers that are actually, like, playable? Nah, they're all probably not. So you have stuff like Oliphant. I don't know. I don't know if this deck, maybe it just can't work. It's such a neat idea. All right, let's try a couple games with it and see. Yeah, we're just never getting to 6 mana, hopefully. If we're getting to 6 mana, we're doing it wrong. Hey, let me see, Corneus. Maybe this. Yeah? I wonder I don't know. I'm skeptical that you can get there with all fetches. Wait, is this... we got Nylea's present, so it must be the right deck. Well, we're gonna have our land types. We will see. We got the land types. We got 2 tribal flames. Maybe that'll be enough. Yeah. I just don't think we can, red, green, blue, black, white. Actually, I think we discard Nylea. I think we actually discard Nylea's presence. I don't actually think we need it. I think we're actually going to hit our land types naturally this game. So we can put this on white. Play a brawler. Pass the turn. Yeah, I mean, stuff like Sylvan Scrying definitely would help find a land, or the land cyclers. Wow, all right, Crucius. Still being played. It would definitely help find the land types. Kind of the challenge is just the aggro part. Like, it's tricky for an aggro deck to take off that amount of time, if that makes sense. Like, to spend 2 mana just to get a land, like, we really need to be curving out with things on turn 2, not searching for a land, or else I think the deck just ends up being too slow, basically. Just watch the video updating cards on Arena. They went a different route and made it a 3-1. Yeah, we actually just saw it for the first time today. Someone played it. I can see that being an okay kind of middle ground way of trying to deal with it. No. Arena. So let's see. Wait, so we have all the land types, right? Is there a way that it tracks them? Oh, I guess that little color thing is showing that we have all the land types. All right, so Tribal Flames, unfortunately, gotta go Shieldred. Play a Wild Nicodle. Play a land on red. Hit you for 3 down to 13. I mean, this is feeling better so far. Hey, what's up, AC? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Historic. Unfortunately, yeah, we're trying to see if we can make a Domain Zoo work. Unfortunately, the Explorer Anthology was very lackluster. Very, very lackluster. There's not much. One Ring. One Ring's also pretty strong. Opponent, One Ring draws a card. Pro everything. Untap land. Into a Thoughtseize. Well, play a Brawler. Pass the turn. Opponent. Well, let's see. It comes down to this. Does the One Ring win the game? Is it a One Ring win? Orcish Bowmasters. Well, we will pump it to keep it alive. Opponent draws some cards. Mount Doom. Come on, hold. They can get back Croxa. That might be their best play. Gets back Croxa. Wait, do we win? Do we win? What does Rod actually say? Creature defending player controls with power less than Rod, I can't block. All right, so we draw. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Now we definitely win. Leyline Binding. Get rid of the Croxa. And opponent scoops it up. That was actually a pretty good win. Does Domain work as a landfall deck? It could. Like, so there's no good fetch lands on Arena, but there are bad fetch lands. Like, we have, I think we would have won there anyway, right? We can make one thing not block. We swing. Actually, maybe we wouldn't have won there. maybe actually we would not have. I wonder if landfall could work with it. You get like Akum not Hellkite, whatever the 1-drop is. You get like the landfall 1-drop. That would be a good backup 1-drop. Ooh, can we even keep this? Probably not. Okay, on second thought, yes. Yes, it looks like we will be keeping 1 Thran Portal.hand. Hellhound, yeah, that's what it is. Well, this is going to be up to Nylea's presence to carry us through this. Any chance of playing Elementals today with Voice in the sideboard? It comes into play tapped unless you can control 2 or fewer other lands. All right, so play this untapped. Play Nylea's presence. Get all the land types. Pass the turn. Probably not today. Elementals with Voice is something we might be able to do in the future, though. I do enjoy playing Elementals, so I think that could be a deck we play in the future. But this one likely. Oh no. I definitely appreciate any suggestions, but we're probably only doing another match or two, and then I gotta go get the beer. So probably won't have time to get to another deck today, but I'll definitely keep Elementals on the list, and never feel bad about suggesting decks you want to play. That's perfectly acceptable. I love hearing people's suggestions and ideas. Yeah, maybe we'll have to mess around with a landfall build at some point. Well, let's play the Firebrand. Answer the Crucius. This feels like a good Bloodbraid deck. I feel like... So Bloodbraid and Panza, we kept spinning into Mana Dorks, which is still value, but I feel like this deck is going to be a much better Bloodbraid deck, just as far as, like, the power of the things we... Well, speaking of power, that's a 1-ring. As far as just the power of things we can swing into, well, okay, let's... Leyline Binding, get rid of the 1-ring. Because Leyline Bindings are saving our day at this point. Territorial Kabu past the turn. Oh, you definitely contributing positively, man leggings. About it. Shieldred. Little awkward since we're kind of running out of removal. Come on. Ooh, Fatal Push. Opponent is not out of removal. Leyline Binding. Again. No such luck. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear. All right, Nylea's presence. Draw a card, get drained. It's a tap land. Ooh. All right, good cards. All right, Shieldred in 1-ring. Alchemy nerfed Omnath is Bosch compliant. 8-ball someone with a landfall trigger. Wait, Alchemy nerfed. Oh, because it costs more mana, right? They bumped it up. Well, all right, Bloodbraid, spin us into an answer to Shieldred, which I guess is not Nylea's presence. That's actually the worst answer to Shieldred. Yeah, I feel like, so Voice is sweet, although I don't know how much different Elementals would look than they did before Voice came along. I could see playing Voice like a couple copies in the main deck. But I think it would mostly look like the past versions. All right, we get to play first. Well, this hand looks kind of reasonable. Our mana's felt a lot better. I don't know if it's better enough, but it feels a lot better than it did before we rebuilt the deck. So maybe we're on the right track for making the mana work at least. Thran Portal. Not really. Thran Portal's horrible, but without fetch lands, it is really, really tough to hit all your land types early in the game on Arena. Nigh impossible, I would say. So So Sultai, white, green. So we need to put this on red. I'll put this on red. Play Kavu. Pass the turn. I played against Crucius and Alchemy, handful of Bowmasters. Yeah, that's one of the biggest upsides of it dropping down to 1 toughness. It actually gets answered by Bowmaster now. Oh, opponent, so much removals. So much removals. I don't play the tap land. Yeah, we're just kidding. Picked apart by the good deck. Opponent, Blackleaf Cliffs number 3. Orcish Bowmasters. Yup. Is the deck command giving the current version of the deck? I see some differences. No, I think that's... Golly. It's showing the version before we just made changes to it. Well, alright, go wild. Wild Nicodle. Save us, Wild Nicodle. I'm sure you got it. I'm sure there's no more removal in our opponent's hand. Oh, come on. See, the thing about this Crucius nerf is it makes it easier to kill, but it's still just as broken if it sticks on the battlefield. It's kind of like Shieldred. Like, if you gave it 1 less toughness, sure, it dies more, but it doesn't stop it. All right, we'll try one more match. One more match, and then I guess we just declare Domain a bust, unfortunately. Declare Domain a bust and then send a request to Wizards to put fetch lands on the client, and then Domain could actually be good if we could actually guarantee the land types. Yeah, Firebrand's pretty bad if people are playing Bowmasters. The thing is, Tarmogoyf isn't. We'll try the Tarmogoyf for our last match. The thing is, Tarmogoyf isn't that good either. That's the thing. We don't really have, like... We're not designed to get types in the graveyard, so I think we'd see a lot of... Honestly, our Tarmogoyfs are probably going to be dying to Bowmasters. But I will update the deck list real quick, so if you want the most updated version. Although, I would not recommend spending... Based on our experience, I would not recommend spending your wild cards on this deck, because... Does not seem great. It seems like it has some cool cards. They're just like the domain mana, not good. When you're playing the gate that makes you choose, all right, Tarmogoyf's time to shine. All right, Tarmogoyf, show us your power, Tarmogoyf. Redeem yourself. Oh no, is this just Rakdos again? Never ending Rakdos. I'm telling you, Diamond, that's where everyone's playing the deck that's trying to grind a mythic. So it's just Crucius. Lord of Fire, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. Well, Portal on red. Play Tarmogoyf. It's 1-2. And I guess we just passed the turn. Seems like a lot of people are just still jamming Crucius. Like the nerf has not intimidated people from Cruciusing.
When I win.
About it. We are gonna get to see Bloodbraid snipe a Liliana. That's kind of sweet. Well, Leyline Mine and get rid of Crucius, but we might get to see Bloodbraid. There is this treasure because of the Crucius, so no guarantees. We would like to see that. About it. Soul Guide Lantern. We added Tarmogoyf and we're playing main deck Graveyard Hate. Alright, well, boom. Untap land. Bloodbraid Elf. Coming down, spinning into. This better be something good. All right, Kavu's good. That's a hit. That's a good 4-drop. Hasty 3/2 and a territorial Kavu and a dead Liliana. That's not a bad Bloodbraid. That's a pretty good Bloodbraid. Opponent also casting Bloodbraid. They spin into a Maelstrom Pulse to get back Crucius. Puke, puke, puke. About it. Untap land. Crucius discards a Fable. Gets Fatal Push. Nylea's Presence, eh? Well, I mean, I guess we have to kill Crucius. We don't have a choice. It feels bad, but we must do it. Go to combat, do some attacking. Discard Nylea's Presence. Draw Nylea's Presence. Draw Nylea's Presence. It's back. It's back. Jund is the future of historic mid-range with Crucius nerf and Unearth Jaracell synergy, but it'll take a ladder a little time to catch up. I mean, Jund is also the past of the historic ladder, right? Like, hasn't Jund and Rakdos been at the top of the meta since Crucius was printed? About it. Alright. Kolaghan's Command. We'll discard a Nylea's Presence. That's a 5/6 Tarmogoyf. Temporarily. Okay. No longer a 5/6 Tarmogoyf. Actually, it's a... Opponents sack their graveyard heat and accrue the Tarmogoyf. They put an artifact in the grave. Oh my god! Okay, opponent. Soul Guide Lantern returns for free from Jaracell. Well, I'll go to combat, do some attacking. Discard the land. Grow the Goyf. Draw a land. All right, opponent, how we blocking? I mean, they gotta block something, right? Opponent blocks. Yeah, we gotta do it, unfortunately. Kill the Jaracell. Play another Kavu. Pass the turn. Come on, deck. Hold. Opponent. Soul Guide Lantern draws a card in desperation. And scoops it up. Okay, we got there. So what do you think of the Crucius rebalancing then? Like, how much does this actually hurt Crucius? Is Crucius no longer a major part of the meta? Or does this change do relatively little? Like, how bad does it hurt to lose that toughness? To me, it feels like it's one of the lighter changes they could have made. Like, it seems like it. Dying to Bowmasters. Yeah, I mean, dying to Bowmasters is a big deal. It still snowballs, though, right? Like, it doesn't actually change the play pattern. It just makes it maybe slightly less likely to happen because there's more things that can answer it. I mean, it obviously hurts it. Like, you're losing, what, 33% of your stats or something, so it obviously powers it down. There's no way you can argue it's as good as it was before. It's obviously not. The question is, does it go from, like, the best card in the format to unplayable, or the best card in the format to, like, one of the best cards in the format? Bowmasters, the best argument for is Bowmasters. What else does it actually change? Like, is there anything else? So it makes it harder to attack with, but I don't know. It's not really an attacking card anyway. Wow, opponent did some aggressive mulliganing here. It's not really an attacking card anyway. You just want to sit out and do its thing every turn. So attacking isn't super essential, I don't think, to its game plan. I think it's still a top tier card. I would not be surprised. I think even with this change, I expect we're still gonna see people jamming it a lot. I'd be surprised if it just disappeared from the meta as a result. Well, all right, Nishiba Brawler. Do a little brawling. 4 land types already. Opponent somehow mulliganed a ton and still had... Well, go to combat, hit ya. Oh, how greedy are we? We could put our opponent to 1 here. Oh, okay, we're not that greedy. We're not that greedy, although we could have really went for it. Opponent. Wow, scoops it up. Okay, so we proved it's possible. It's possible to win with Domain. Dying to cut down and cast into the fire might be relevant. That's true. Cut down doesn't see much play, but cast into the fire I have seen as an answer. It's tough because of Fatal Push. Fatal Push just kind of trumps it for the most part. So what do we learn about our decks today? What do we learn? So first, Ponza, I think we're about a 50% win rate overall. Like we did a decent job of blowing up lands. Sometimes that was enough to win. Sometimes it wasn't enough to win. We did get to see Inferno Titan actually come down in 2023 and win some games, which was actually pretty sweet. So I think the deck, I don't know if we'll ever see Ponza be like truly competitive. Wizards is just so cautious with land destruction, but I do think it keeps slowly getting better. Acidic Slime is a big addition. Bloodbraid was a little bit hit and miss, but I think it's worth it. Inferno is a good finisher. Domain, we did a lot of brewing on Domain. I think we've ended in a spot where the deck is better than where we started, which is nice. Although, I'm still a little skeptical of being able to make the mana work fully. Like the mana is still a little tricky to really get it to do its thing, but should have made Crucius cheaper so it does dies to Fatal Push. That's the solution. Crucius needed to lose mana so we could go with Fatal Push. Anyway, everyone, Ponza would be better if you had Plow Under. I know, we don't even have Plow Under on Arena, but Plow Under is, that's such a sweet card. It feels so good. Mostly Cube these days, I get people with Plow Under, but Plow Under is definitely a super cool card. Maybe next Anthology we'll get Plow Under and really be able to teach Arena Zoomers what's going on. Anyway, everyone, I think that brings us to the end of our stream for today. So reminders on the way out the door. Replay YouTube, that's where you'd find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Can I link the Ponza deck? Yes, I will link the Ponza deck again. That's where you can find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Normal YouTube, there's some sweet decks coming up tomorrow, so check out the YouTube for Against Odds tomorrow. It's pretty sweet. And one more reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom, and if you need some magical cards, you can get them at cardkingdom.com/MTGGoldfish. And most importantly, thank you to all of you. I love you all. Thanks for hanging out. You're amazing and awesome. I hope you have an amazing night. Have a great Wednesday. And we'll be back on Thursday to play some more new decks, probably. We still got more decks to get through, so we'll play some more on Thursday. Until then, hey, thanks, Roberto. I definitely appreciate it. Until then, have a great one, everyone. And I will talk to you soon.